We feel upset because we cry a lot. We feel sad and mad and angry. We were surprised and shocked when we heard the news. I used to feel sad, but now I feel mad and sad and sometimes a little crazy.
Most of us feel some amount of confusion. Confusion about what's happening in our families and confusion about how we feel.
As a 6-year-old, I was just confused and I was wondering how my life was going to change. And I didn't have any siblings to go through it with, so I kind of had to do it on my own. I was confused a lot, but until I was, maybe 12, it was just go with the flow.
The voices you just heard are a tiny sample of the millions of children who have experienced changes in their family that also involve the family court. Whether parents have been married and are now separating or divorcing, or whether parents have never been married and need to make custody arrangements regarding their children, the court system in California is designed to assist families through this sometimes overwhelming experience.
It was difficult watching my daughter go through various levels of grief. It took some years. It was frustrating at times. But I hung in there, as did her mother, and we kept everything about the best outcome for our daughter.
California law requires that parents attend mediation if they do not agree about custody or parenting time with their children. This process is referred to as child custody recommending counseling in some courts. Mediation and child custody recommending counseling are similar in most ways.
My name's Dan. How are you? I'm going to be your mediator today.
Mediation is a process in which parents spend time with a neutral, specially trained professional who will listen to their concerns and help them develop a parenting plan that meets the needs of their family.
What bothered me the most was that I wouldn't get to see my daughter every day. And that kind of weighed on me.
When parents first come to court, it's scary and anxiety is heightened and people are just not able to focus like they normally would in everyday circumstances.
They have a fair amount of pessimism about what can possibly be achieved in there. And when you think about it, it makes sense because people come to court precisely because they can't talk. And then the first thing they're told to do is please go and try to talk. So as mediators, we try to acknowledge those feelings and recognizing as well that people do heal.
We want to give them an opportunity to consider all kinds of options and an opportunity to come up with their own plan that they can develop and custom fit to the needs of their children. Focusing not on mom's rights or dad's rights, but again, getting both parents to channel that energy into what's best for the kids.
Most courts in California have a family court services program or other mediation program to help parents mediate their parenting concerns.
What I explain to parents is that there are 3 goals in mediation. The first goal is to try to help them come up with a plan. The second goal is that that plan needs to be in the child's best interest. So it's not necessarily what either parent may want, but it's what's going to be best for the child. The third goal is to help the parents reduce acrimony and bitterness between them so that the children won't suffer as a result.
Child custody mediation is conducted by court mediators who are skilled professionals in the field of psychology, marriage and family child counseling, or social work. By statutory requirements, everyone is trained in the area of domestic violence, the impact of domestic violence on children, also substance abuse, family dynamics, issues of child abuse.
A lot of us have experience in the field working either as therapists, with families, with kids.
Because of our education and training, we were able to navigate some of those very difficult situations that parents and children face.
This whole single parent custody it was all new, and it didn't really, I had not been here before, and I didn't feel like it came with an instruction package, so I didn't really know what to do.
My job is to work with you and see if I can help you come.
Mediation provides an opportunity for parents to work out their custody and parenting arrangements.
There's three really important issues that we need to cover in each session. One is the concept of legal custody. The second is the concept of physical custody. And then the third, of course, is the custodial schedule.
The court would like to have people write comprehensive schedules, schedules that are detailed for how parents are going to spend time with their children.
It really depends. For younger kids, it might be a schedule that enables them to remain with a primary caregiver and spend time with the other parent, maybe 3 or 4 days a week for a few hours at a time.
As the children get older or they've already used to overnights, everybody defines their weekend in a unique way. Some parents' weekend is from after soccer on Saturday until after dinner on Sunday.
Another type of issue that we often see is move-away requests, where one parent is looking to move out of the area with the kids.
Ask the parent, well, what if the judge grants, the mother to move away in New York? He was able to come up with his own timeshare in that specific scenario, and vice versa. The moving parent, well, what if the judge says that the child has to stay back here? What then? And they were able to come up with their own timeshares.
We will address what if the child is sick and can't leave to meet another parent at an exchange? What do we do in those circumstances? We also address emergency situations and how to address all of those different everyday parenting issues when you're living in two different homes.
In California, either parent can have custody of the children, or the parents can share custody.
Joint legal custody is for parents who want to share in the health and education decisions for their children. Parents who have joint legal custody often select schools, daycare providers, and counselors together. If one parent has sole legal custody, then that parent makes those decisions alone. When parents have joint physical custody, children live a great deal of time with each parent, not necessarily 50-50, although it can mean 50-50. Sole physical custody means that a child lives with one parent and spends significantly less amount of time with the other parent.
What we're trying to accomplish is making sure that both mom and dad have time in an appropriate way with their children.
And every child in every family is unique. There's not a presumption that the mother should have custody. There's not a presumption that the father should have custody. There's only a presumption that they should have joint custody if the two of them agree about that. So for every family, there needs to be a unique plan, and sometimes that plan has to be precise for each child.
My concern was that, as is sometimes the case, that I was not going to have time with my daughter. Her concern, as is sometimes the case, was that I would not want to have time with my daughter, and she wanted to have a life. And we were able to mutually agree that we both really had to stay away from anger, and really behave like adults, which is challenging at times, even when you are an adult.
Okay, folks, I have a copy of your agreement, one for each of
Every
you.
county is different. One thing that we like to do is when parents reach an agreement is to write it all out for them. And when they leave the mediation office, they have that agreement in hand.
We feel tired and bored bringing our stuff back and forth.
We need time for homework and activities. We need family time and one-on-one time.
If you're unable to reach an agreement,
Usually the parents meet together for mediation. However, if there's a history of violence or a restraining order has been issued, or if a parent does not feel safe meeting with the other parent, the mediator will arrange for separate sessions at separate times.
We take domestic violence issues very, very seriously. One of the things we do is we make sure that there's an intake process. So we have an intake sheet with questions specifically designed to ask and solicit if there is some issues of domestic violence in the family, if there's a restraining order in the family. This intake form is confidential, only the mediator sees it.
many times parents are hesitant to bring up any past domestic violence because there are no police reports, there are no arrests. But it's our job that if there has been a history to really find out what's going on and make sure that they feel comfortable being in the same room or being in a separate room.
And then in our parenting plans, we make sure we talk about that and how safety is critical, and maybe neutral exchange locations so you don't have to be in the same space as parents. You can exchange your child maybe through a third party. We also want to make sure that if there's any violence in the home, we want to talk about interventions and things you can do as parents to support your children because they experience that violence. And the mediators are all trained and very well versed at providing information to the parents about what they can do for themselves to feel, like there's a way of moving forward from this.
It is important that parents tell court personnel of their needs. A person who's protected by a restraining order or protective order has the right to have a support person present in mediation, at an orientation program, and at the court hearing. The support person cannot participate in the mediation and should be a neutral person who is not involved in the case. It's also important to know that family courts issue orders that address safety issues, such as restraining orders, orders for supervised visitation, procedures for exchange of the children, or other orders regarding safety concerns for parents and/or children.
Well, our first focus is on the best interest of the children, but we have to temper that with safety concerns as well. So we're trying to determine what's best for children, what safety concerns there might be with each parent, trying to meet the state's goal of having children have frequent and continuing contact with both parents. So we're focusing on all of those things at the same time. If there's a conflict between those policies, then we have to focus on safety first.
Kids need reassurance that it will be okay. He needs you to stop fighting.
California has 58 diverse counties. All court-connected child custody mediators have to follow certain laws and standards of practice, but there are some differences parents should be aware of. One of these is how cases are handled if parents are not able to reach an agreement in mediation.
So we worked really hard here today. I think that
In those courts where mediators do not make recommendations when the parents cannot agree, the mediator may only report to the court that the parents were unable to reach an agreement.
Mediation is voluntary. It's mandatory for you to appear in the mediation session, but it's really voluntary to reach an agreement. So there is no pressure that will take place in the process.
if I can sometimes get them to say, hey, let's make two different categories, the things you just can't agree to about and the things that you can agree about. Sometimes I can go have a partial agreement.
While the mediator in these courts does not make recommendations regarding custody or parenting time, sometimes and in some courts, the mediator might make the following recommendations if appropriate. If it is believed to be in the best interest of the child, the mediator in some courts might recommend a restraining order to protect the child. A mediator might also recommend an attorney be appointed for the child, and the mediator might recommend an evaluation, investigation, or other services to assist the parents in resolving the matter.
When parents don't agree in the mediation process, then as a mediator, we will finish the mediation and we'll declare an impasse. I should say, however, that mediators are very patient, so we will try very hard before we actually come to that point. And I like to remind parents at the end that even if they didn't reach an agreement today, it doesn't mean that they can't reach agreements in the future.
So the judge hopes that you two can reach an agreement regarding the custody and visitation of your children.
In many other courts, there are mediators who are called child custody recommending counselors because they will make recommendations to the court regarding custody and parenting time if the parents can't agree. In those courts, mediation is referred to as child custody recommending counseling.
And when I feel that the parents aren't going to agree, then it's important for me to gather as much information as possible regarding the issues that they present, whether it be legal custody or physical custody. We want to get information so that we can make the best recommendations possible for the parents' consideration and for the court's consideration.
The goal is to help parents reach an agreement because they are the people with the most information and the most investment and the most emotion. At best, a judge is a stranger. We can be an educated stranger. We can listen as well as we can, but we are never going to be that child's parent. So we are a second best choice for making a decision about children.
In all courts, parents will be notified before the start of their mediation how the outcome of mediation will be handled and any limitations to confidentiality.
We certainly want to do everything we can to protect the confidentiality of families, and we're very careful when they come in as to the information that they write on their intake forms or even the reports that we might write. And so there are protocols in every county as to how to handle that.
The other side of confidentiality that I explained to them is that I will be writing a report that they are going to receive. Either it's going to be a report that's based on their agreements or my recommendations if they don't reach an agreement, or a combination thereof. And I explained to them that they get this report. If they're represented by attorneys, their attorneys will get the report, and the court will get the report as well.
Also, our reports will be in a confidential section of the court files, so they don't have to worry about strangers coming to the clerk's office and asking to see what happened in their mediation. If we learn during the course of a mediation session that someone is being abused, particularly a child, then we may be obliged to contact authorities and let them know. And in that case, confidentiality would not apply.
If recommendations regarding custody and visitation are made, the child custody recommending counselor is required to give the parents and any attorneys a copy of the report with recommendations prior to the court hearing.
I have a copy of the Child Custody Recommending Counselors Report.
It is important that parents check with their local court and talk with the mediator and child custody recommending counselor about what happens to the information that is shared during mediation.
We need hugs and kisses.
We need love. We always need love from our parents.
If the parents can't agree, the judge will make a final decision at a court hearing.
Sometimes their areas of disagreement are very simple to resolve. Sometimes a short hearing is sufficient to resolve the issues for the time being. Some parents only need a custody order that's going to last them for a little bit of time until they can let things settle. Some parents are looking for something that's going to last a lot longer. So a case can be resolved anywhere from a short discussion with a judge, which can help parents reach an agreement, to a judge hearing some testimony from each parent and then making a determination. And sometimes there are evaluations that might be ordered, or there might be a longer sort of a hearing like a trial.
We need you to listen to us and talk to us. When we are given a choice in things, the whole process is easier.
We want a say in more things, especially our living arrangements.
So between the ages of 6 and 13, when they didn't ask me what I would prefer for a switching schedule, I was heavily into softball and dance in those ages, and I had a lot of things going on during the week and on the weekends, and it was always a hassle for me to have to worry about who's going to take me to dance practice or who's going to take me to my softball game. When I got smart enough into my teenage years and realized that I had a say and had a voice, I started asking more about how the court process worked, and they explained the switching schedules and the parenting plans. And I said, well, can I put my input in? Because I'd like to do cheerleading, and it's, 6 days a week sometimes. And that's when my parents started getting more flexible.
I feel okay, but sometimes I feel a little sad.
It is normal for parents and children to go through an adjustment period when there are changes in the time they spend together. They may find it as a difficult and painful time, and parents and children may have a hard time communicating. Research has shown that ongoing conflict between the parents can be harmful to children. There are things parents can do to minimize the conflict and help their children adjust.
The one thing that affects the children the most is the conflict that parents have. The ongoing conflict affects them in schooling, their emotions, their future relationships. And so the first thing that you can do to help your child is find ways to reduce conflict. That is the central thing you can do.
One of them that we encourage is that parents do not make any disparaging remarks in the presence of the children regarding the other parent or allow any third parties to do so. So if there is maybe a friend or a family member that's taking sides and is speaking negatively about a parent in front of the child, we ask parents to take control of that and to tell everyone, we will not discuss the other parent in front of the children in any kind of negative way.
There are a lot of ways that parents can help minimize the conflict. Um, One is just take a step back and realize that parenting is a really difficult job. There are going to be challenges. And even if they lived in the same household, they're not always going to agree. One of the ways I help parents to reduce the conflict they have is to focus on their communication. Because what ends up happening, they come into my office and they're arguing about this, that, and the other thing. And they have all these different arguments, whether it's the homework or whether how the kids get to school on time. But the problem isn't about each one of these individual problems. It's about the communication. And if they can figure out how to solve one of these problems, we can import their solution making for this problem to all the other ones if they have basic communication skills.
Another thing that parents can do to try to help keep their kids out of the conflict is just not put the kids in the middle. So when I hear parents tell me that the other parent is having the child call and ask if they can stay a little bit longer, for example, I tell the parents, you need to be doing that with one another.
And so we encourage parents to communicate directly in matters concerning the children and not to use the child as a liaison. It's too much pressure and it causes too much anxiety on the kids. And half the time, as is normal, children always don't get the story straight. So I encourage parents to think in terms of you will hear information from your child before you jump to conclusions and you call to accuse the other parent about what you just heard, that you will call to clarify what you just heard.
If I could get parents to do nothing else, it would be to avoid doing any sort of business at an exchange. I call an exchange a magic moment for their children. Their children are going to see the two people they love the most in the world come together in one visual. And it's really important that that be 100% positive for those children because they're going to do thousands of exchanges.
A helpful tip for parents is to recognize ways that the child's put in the middle that were unintentional ways. For example, if a parent was attending a extracurricular function and the other parent was also there, before or after, who does that child talk to? Are they free to go back and forth between the parents without one of the parents getting upset that why did you go talk to him first or her first? And immediately afterwards, you should come to one side or the other. And just be cautious about that. It's okay for the child to be free to go back and forth at will as they would anyone else and get to go see friends and to chit chat after an event that they're excited about. It's about them and not about mom and dad.
Make sure they know it's okay with you to love the other parent as well as you loving them, because they forget that and they sometimes think it's their fault.
We've seen children come to us, 15 years, 16 years old, and having missed that piece, having missed that opportunity to have a significant relationship with the other parent and how it affects them down the road. So I think parents really need to think about how can I ensure that my child has a relationship with both of us, because developmentally that's what they need.
A lot of it is just keeping that anger out of it, keeping the anger out of it one day at a time. And if you can somehow manage to pause when you're feeling that and not react and wait until that passes and then do what you have to do, it goes a long way towards healing and making the process better for you and better for the kids. The kids don't deserve to be under the thumb of that anger. They just don't deserve it, and it's only hurtful. So you owe them that.
In front of the children, it's really, really important to be civil, and you don't want to go to your kids' extracurriculars and sit on opposite sides of the field or opposite sides of the stadium watching them perform or do what they do best. It just makes them feel like they have to choose afterwards who to go see and say hi and thank you for coming. And it's just really stressful when they can't even be in the same vicinity.
Change is a natural part of life. It is important for parents to be aware that a plan they decide on now may need to be changed in the future. Another important thing to consider is that the plan may be different for each child depending upon their needs.
I think it helps parents to recognize that the parenting plan is evolving as the child gets older and needs to be adjusted and perhaps modified. And they need to expect to be flexible. They need to expect to make changes, that a parenting plan that might fit the needs of a younger child, 5 years old, just starting kindergarten, is going to be significantly different than the sophomore in high school.
Younger children need a lot of security. They have a hard time with a lot of transitions. So what can you do to minimize those for them?
But we know as they get older, they're all about their friends, school, extracurricular activities.
I think you should consider the specifics that have to do with the burdens that are being put on children through parenting plans. For instance, how much travel time is a child being required to do throughout the day or the week? How does your plan affect their schoolwork? Are they able to be successful in their school with the plan that you have? How does this plan affect their friendships? How do they keep connected to the people that really mean a lot to them? How does this plan affect their activities, the things that they enjoy doing on a day-to-day basis? If you can imagine yourself in their shoes and think to yourself, gee, would I want this kind of plan? Or would I have wanted this kind of plan? Then I think you're on the way to making a good plan for your children.
Having my parents be flexible with my schedule, I was so grateful for it because I didn't feel pressured to spending more time with one parent, and I got to just do what I wanted to do and have something about the divorce be about me, and that was kind of heartwarming.
We need parents to try to understand and respect what it's really like for us. Some of us are even happier. It can be a relief when parents finally make the decision to divorce or to separate after they have been fighting for so long.
For more information about the court process, parents may seek assistance through their local court. In addition to the Family Court Services departments, courts have self-help centers or family law facilitators who may help parents with the paperwork required and answer questions about child support and other issues. While they are not allowed to provide legal advice, they are able to assist parents with information about the family law legal process. Also, if you need assistance in getting a child support order, changing the amount, or help collecting child support, services are available through the local child support agency. These agencies are located in each county to provide services to parents. They are not a part of the court, but a governmental agency that provides services to either parent. You can get more information on these services and how to apply at the California Department of Child Support Services website.
I would highly recommend that if you hit a rough spot, that you go back through mediation, try to work it out. If that doesn't work, come back to court. A bench officer is here to help you work out your problems in the best interest of your children.
Our daughter has grown up. She's graduated from college. We both went down and attended her graduation and sat by each other, and we were both mutually excited and proud and and good friends. And I think at the end, we kind of did a fist bump and said, good job.
I wouldn't be able to keep doing it if it was always, everything always ended the way parents see it on the way in. I keep holding on to the way the parents see it on the way out.
They'll let me know, wow, what a difference it's made having you here, and letting them know that, hey, you guys can have this type of communication outside.
They get really excited about their children. They get focused on their children. And it's not about the fight anymore. It's about, we need to help our children.
I realized that after my graduation ceremony, I had to say hi and take pictures with both my families. So I asked both families to come to the same spot on the field. So after we threw up our caps, we walked over to where I was meeting my family, and both of them were there. Before you know it, after we took some pictures, my parents were mingling, my mom and my dad's family were mingling, and vice versa. And it was a relief to me to actually see them together. One big thing that I really wanted out of this was a picture with just my mom and my dad, because the last time I can remember taking a picture with both of them was maybe when I was 3 or 4 years old, and I've cherished that picture, and I really would like a few more to have. So that day, she asked my dad to go step in a picture with my mom, and he came up to me with a smile on his face and said, "Hey, would you like a picture of all three of us?" And I almost cried right there.
Copyright infringement, what's that? This table's a little wobbly. Oh, kid. Isn't that unfortunate? What's up, Skyward 600? Everybody in the chat. So yeah, this is not my first rodeo. I feel like I've been here before, maybe at least a couple times. But we're back here again, Just Ttap Podcast. Who's hogging the bandwidth? There you have something. You got me a room. This one's nice. I have a balcony. It's only like $5 more a night. I was like, all right, that's cool. And I got an extra bed in case I want to have, like a slumber party or something. So. Got some of this Trader Jose dark lager. This came from Mexico, they say. And I'm having a Little Caesars pizza. So this is the pizza party. For you almost 150 subscribers. Yeah, so Snake is here. And Will, God was selling. Jody was here. Gang's all here now. Yeah, anything but that. Anything but I have like a fucking 2-hour course on that shit to go through fucking custody thing. But it's all like really basic shit that I already know. And I just can't communicate with this person. Help me. Yeah, one of those. Yeah. I already have 2 slices while we were watching the video, but it's just a plain cheese. And yeah, it's like really crusty. And it's cold now, so. Yeah, this side isn't as bad. No, I'm not gonna start eating that on that street. No on cannabis again. Still got like these 3 almost empty vape cartridges and a little bit of bud that I brought back with me from Sacramento last night. Just a small one. Ooh, it's got a hair on it. I only saw that in the camera. Decent. I don't know what it's called. Should I get that hair off before I smoke it? So why can't I only see it on my screen? It must have fallen off. Anyway, went up there. I had a little get together over there for the Equinox, I guess. Is that what they're calling it? I don't know. Got the band together, played a few songs, drank some 21-year aged Irish whiskey. It was pretty delish. You know, that type of shit. The speed is choppy. Uh-oh. It's hotel internet, so go figure. I have like 3 different networks I can connect to, though. Apparently. So this one was solid. I wonder if I can connect while streaming, or is that going to fuck me if I try to switch? What do you think? Says this one or 2. All right, I'm going for it. I feel like, well, from what this is telling me, this is the stronger one. At least if this little measuring thing's correct. But yeah, StreamYard's lagging on me, I can see. Oh. How bad is it? Oh, no weed, Jason? Oh. Well, congrats on that. Yeah, I'm minimizing that too, but yeah, on my off days, it's definitely still a staple. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There goes that train. That is the downside of this location, but it doesn't run very late, so it's not really a big deal. We're trying to sleep at night and shit. Also, I think I can walk to the station, so. Oh, I was frozen? Maybe I'll just go off camera if it's the screen freezing out. As long as the audio is okay, I don't show my pretty face. I'm also next to a road, so you may hear that noise. There's the road here, the freeway, and the train track. So, oh, you can't see me now. I'm like pointing in the direction of the thing, but it's funny. Well, if nobody wants to come in, I don't have. Well, I've probably got topicals. What am I thinking? Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna do this one. I'm probably gonna try to stay on for a little while here, as you can see, since we had to watch that presentation together. I'll be devoting a little time here this afternoon. I'm just I already handled most of my business, and I just have to resume that business and just get it done so I can move on tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do with the rest of my night and enjoy my stay here. Oh, you don't know why you stopped? Yeah, I mean, like sometimes it's important to just like check your headspace. That's what I had to realize. I'd be like losing control of just any old thing at this point, if I don't, just check my headspace and why I'm doing what I'm doing. Somebody banging around again over there. It's only, 2:08 in the afternoon, so you can't always expect it to be quiet, right? There's actually so I had to make a payment arrangement with that office space I was in last year. And so they were like, hey, we really don't want to have to sue you. Can you just arrange to pay us some money? And I was like, yes, I can. So for the next 4 months, I'm paying off the remainder of my obligation for that lease. But they have another office right at the other end of this boulevard. And I'm like, it's super convenient location. Maybe I can get in over there. I'd be like, hey, I'm paying you guys, but maybe, I don't know. Just a thought. And I don't know. Try to make that work again. Also, I have to. Oh yeah, shit. That's right. I'm supposed to call about this room for rent, so I'll probably do that after I get off here too this evening or something later. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Oh yeah, so I'm going to show you guys because I have proof. I have fucking receipts right here. This email from chess.com says that Germania has challenged me as of 5 days ago to a game. I shit you not, people of the internet. I'm not fucking around. You see this, right? Somebody's playing a game, all right. Fuck. So, and I have it on, oh, that's not convenient. I have it on another tab. So is it going to affect you if I make it small? Oh, yeah, it sucks. Damn it. Okay, I'll just have to, it's a different window, not a different, if I have it on a different tab, we don't have that problem. So I'll open chess.com in a new tab. And who's on first? Swear to holy heaven. Present. Somebody was like, if he starts playing chess now, I'm leaving. Oh. Well, actually. Oh, shit. Now I'm fucking up. We're not going to look at that. No. Did you see that? You didn't see that? Fuck. No. Like you weren't supposed to do that. Oh, shit. Hopefully I read as fast as I think I do, because I'm like, oh shit, abort. Stone League? Okay, what the hell? Is it loading? It's loading, right? I have to do this? Wish I was a little bit taller. Wish I was a baller. Did they do I feel like there was a what are those? Like these ones. Um, All right, let's try this one.
Everyone is raving about John Wick. It's the #1 movie in the world. Amen. Rolling Stone. Yo, check this out. This Ice-T body count. UABB upon a burning body, bitch. UABB. Fuck that. Anyway, we up in this motherfucker. Security fucking with me. Tell us to stop standing on the goddamn couches.
Oh, so this is good name. Do it. Oh wait, did he? Oh wait, so he set it up so we can do it this way. I see. Figured out something. Huh? Yeah, now you've got a day to return. I see how this is. Thanks. This is taking forever to load, yeah. Good standard.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Liquor in my cup. You can see that I'm doing fuck. Turn down for what? Get out of my face, motherfucker. Unless you wanna see what's up. Turn down for what? You can't find me. Till another one of my cold train.
Oh, you like that?
Swear to God, this security guard looks at me one more time, I'm punching you in the face. Cause why you bumping all up into me, nigga? You drunker than me, what's happening? Yo, bitch, you ain't been taking your bottles, bitch. Are you fucking crazy? Put the bottle down. Some water burning body. Bitch, you trying to get cooked? Turn!
Okay, well, this does not appear to be working. It's about a burn. Yeah. Chest by mail? No. That's a fascinating concept. Oh, is my internet scrolling out again? That's fine. No. I don't remember the last time. Well, I've used the postal service for legal documents and insurance mostly. Yeah. Who uses the postal service anymore? No, I just got a P.O. box down here, actually, not long ago. So. Well, apparently I do, because I have a big bag of mail over at my family member's house that I, probably got like tolls and parking tickets from 6 months ago or something. Yeah, I owe the toll service out here a ridiculous amount of money. I got them to make an arrangement with me after the pandemic, and I had it paid down. But then I started going back down there again, and Bro Joe's live. Let's go check in on Bro Joe over at the 420 Cafe. Hit the like button. Dun, dun, dun. Just another manic Monday. Oh, wish it were Sunday. That's my fun day. About 2 hours early. It's 4:20 somewhere. It's 4:20 in Colorado, I believe.
Hanging out. We'll be hanging out in Abraham's bosom, sucking on his tit.
Sparkling water, please.
All right, happy 420!
Happy 420! Smoke weed every day.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
All right, Heretic. I got a Kevin Samuels for you. Kevin Samuels.
Right, you've got a Ken Nuff for me. You've got a Ken Nuff for me. The other one is Stoic Kev, Kev, and then there's other. And apparently in their about pages, they say, these are not monetized. This is just about promoting the Kevin Samuels stuff. But I'm not sure I believe them.
Now, this video caught my eye.
A feminist with crazy.
Christian feminist with crazy stand. Now, I haven't even seen this video. It's like 30 minutes long. I haven't even watched it. But I will tell you this. Right? You see this woman? She reminds me so much of my wife.
Really? Really?
Well, she's got the same hair, the nose, the mouth. I mean, not the eye. She's got her eye. Brows, and they're not that thick. They're not that thick.
It's horrible.
I mean the bride. As far as the lid, she don't put makeup on like that. But I'm just saying, as far as her nose, her mouth,
let's just
hair.
Let's just have a go at her, right? First of all, right? Facially, very nice.
Yeah, she's good looking. Okay, not sure what they're doing over there. I'm getting death spirals.
Nice rounded, not fat, not thin. Very nice. Those lips
Jesus.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
That fucking makeup on her eyes.
Yeah. It's a bit much, but not crazy. I'm not muted or anything, am I? Yeah, y'all gotta do something. Godless sewing, doing my so-called live later. Notification on. Do.
Who cares about themselves to such a degree that they would not take actions that are smart. And the smart action, even for the most selfish, is to make sure that we are contributing to the welfare of other people because their lives impact ours.
What about someone like a con artist who get cheating people?
What about a con artist? A con artist knows that they're doing something immoral.
Right.
And they're choosing to do it anyway.
How does that hurt them?
Maybe it doesn't. So what? It doesn't. There's no solution to that problem. You have Christian con artists too. You have theistic con artists.
They say I don't care about other people.
I've never met the people who you claim exist who say they don't care about other people, but I've given you the answer that we should give them. To come back and say, what about con artists, means that you've ignored everything I've said.
So, Ox, while you're here, I guess I'll just ask, since I've been told by Godless Sewing that you doxed on him or something. Or that's what I heard through the grapevine stuff. So I guess we'll just. Sheesh. I don't know. Yeah. There's probably some unfortunate videos of me out there, so we all gotta live with the shit we did. Yeah. Yeah, what are you gonna do? I don't know. I'm in a place of a position of non-judgment. So
Thing I've said and just said, yeah, but what about people who really, really don't care? The people who are con artists go to jail. When they get caught, they go to jail. What else can we do? There's no solution to this. Pointing to a God does not solve this problem in the slightest. There is no solution to any objection you could possibly make to secular morality that is solved in any way by appealing to a God.
True.
Go ahead, try.
I was just curious what your take was on that.
Yeah,
you just got it, man.
There are some shitty people. I start by working with the people who aren't so shitty, and then we force the shitty people to compliance or prison. It's an unfortunate. It sounds crass and cruel, but you know what it is? It's a pragmatic, useful way to live life, unlike being on your knees with your hands folded, begging for God to fix the problem for you.
And yeah, on that note,
I tend to try to stay out of drama. You know, most of the time. Unless I am the drama, in which case, yeah, there's that happening too, right? Like, whoa, man, step back, hold on, take a second. Here comes the train.
But so many people say that they want to see the light. They want to be enlightened. They want to dissolve into the light of God.
And that they do. I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to do with them people? um, I came across another video on YouTube that showed him being a Karen to his neighbor. Sent him a message about on Twitter about it. He never responded, so I posted a copy on my channel. Uh-oh. Okay. So, I know the story. So we'll... All right. See? And here we are. No, come in and fight about it, you two. Supposed to... Wait, where's my invite link? No. This is just what my channel needs. Take the focus off of me, man. But seriously, can't we all just get along? Okay. Well, I'll leave that one at that. Go back to whatever I was doing. I know things. I know people. So, if, hypothetically, you know, would post a video of my workplace on the internet, oh, this is totally what we need to do. Change the topic right now. So, I like to think I'm usually pretty good at conflict conflict resolution. Is that how? But yeah, I'm also going to court for not. So I don't know if I'm the one to be talking to. Oh no. No fighting.
Japanese soup.
Come on.
Right now I'm going to prepare the hard-boiled eggs, and I've done this many a time. You just put the eggs you want in cold water in a pot, and then you wait till it boils, And then when it boils, you turn the heat off and cover it for about 10 minutes, and then it's done. So that's what I'm doing right now. All right, yeah, let's just go ahead. I just turned the heat off. Just go ahead and put a cover on this. And then what you do after that, it's been here actually longer than I like. I had to use the restroom. You just let it sit there for about 10 minutes. Then you drain all the water out, replace it with cold water, and then take the shell off. I've done this many a time. Yep, and that's how I make hard-boiled eggs. So yeah, this recipe does require hard-boiled eggs, so I'm getting that ready in advance. Okay, yeah, I boil eggs all the time. So let's just kind of like drain the hot water here. And then I put it cold water like this. It helps create a bit of a pop between the shell and the eggs, supposedly making it easier to take the shell off. So I usually take the hot water out and then fill this up with cold water.
Listen to the soothing sounds of Gale and her parsley.
This is not always a smooth process.
Parsley will soothe you.
Sometimes the shells come off easy, sometimes they don't. Let's see what happens. Let me see. I usually do it kind of right over the garbage can here. So let's see how this works. Let's see how today goes. The trick I've learned with taking shells off is you want to make sure you get the fine skin right underneath the shell.
Oh, no. Everything's cool. I just put you guys in a timeout. We'll work it out.
So
I ain't tripping on nothing.
you can see the shiny part. Yeah, you want to get that fine skin off. That's a trick that I've learned with making hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, looks like I'm having good luck so far. Yeah, so I'll be doing this for all. This one was great. So I'll go ahead and put it in here, and then do the same thing for the other 3. Yeah. So this one came out good. So I'll take the shells off of the other 3. Okay, I already got started with the eggs. This is what I'm going to be making. I'm not following the recipe exactly. I will post this at my website. I already made the eggs. Let's go.
Is this a website? Holy shnikey.
Go ahead and soak the shiitake mushrooms. 2 dry shiitake mushrooms softened. So we'll work on that now. Okay. I have some dried shiitake mushrooms. These were pre-sliced. That's about the equivalent of 2, and I'm soaking them in some water. Hopefully by the time I need to throw them in there, they'll be good. I think the next thing I'm going to do is prepare the aber. I'm not sure.
It doesn't seem like very much mushroom, does it?
Rajay. That is the fried bean curds. I'm going to see if I can take some of the grease. You can kind of see them there in the corner there. What I'm going to do do is prepare them and try to remove some oil. So that'll be my next step. The aborage, there's two of them in here. This is what I need for this recipe. So let me go ahead and take them. I bought this at the Far East Market, one of the Asian stores around here. Let me go ahead and prepare this in a manner to get
I don't
rid
know
of
if
the
Gail
excess
actually lists the recipe. Let me see.
grease. And wait till this water boils, and then I'm going to throw the aborage in there. In the meanwhile, let me cut them down to the size that I want them for the soup. Okay, they're kind of frozen right now, but
She has a Discord too. Holy crap! We need to take all these links.
let's see. What size do I want them for the soup?
Can I copy it?
First time I made the soup, so I'm kind of guesstimating, and I may not follow.
Really need to get a new mouse. This freaking touchpad's a pain in the butt sometimes.
The recipe exactly. Oops. I'm probably going to cut them into strips like that. Yeah, let's see. Okay, yeah, let's just go ahead and cut them down to the strip size that I want them to be for the soup.
Comment post?
Actually, even though the cookbook says, you know, kind of lets them thaw out.
Hold on, Will. I'll let you in just a second. I was just having a little technical issue here.
Partially frozen, they actually.
Am I disconnected? Shit, what happened? Okay. Looks like I'm still here. What the fuck? Okay. I think we're back. Okay, I had something really weird happen here, but you can hear me. Okay, what's up? I hear you, Will. What's happening?
Dude, I'm going to say, in light of what I told you yesterday, I'm not even going to speak on Ox. I'm not even going to. It's not even worth my time. Because I told you what was the result of these idiots doxing me. Ox has no idea what he's done. He put my family at risk. Over stupid YouTube drama because these people have nothing in their lives. Nothing. There's no defense for that. There's no defense for you speak of peace and all this bullshit, but then when you don't like somebody, you bring the violence to their house. Nah, dude, it doesn't work that way. I don't play this stupid little lefty bullshit. If you come for me, I'm going to come for you. You put my family at risk. You aren't Ox, bro. Nah. And Matt's and the entire family, they put my family at risk. That will never be forgotten. You can hide and do Darvo all you want, but at the end of the day, like, these low life losers brought their drama to my house. So what's the recipe?
The recipe.
No, these motherfuckers have no lives. They have no lives. They will talk about me. They will stalk me. That's all they're gonna do, because not one of them will do anything. Not one. Whatever, Ox. You're literally my biggest fan, bro. You are a stalker punk. You are the definition of a punk. But anyways, let's move on. Let's move on because Ox is irrelevant. He could get so tough in the chat because that's all he can do. It's all he can do.
Well, yeah, we are
These
speaking
fools,
on the
these fools have wasted my time, bro. And I told you about what happened. Like I told you, like these fools, they're running their mouths about things they don't even know about. So I'm done with these wannabes. Let's talk about like real things.
So not only did I wasn't able to, I had to reschedule with my therapist because it usually would have been today, right? So now it's been over 2 weeks. And, but I had to go to court this morning, right? And deal with that shit. And it's gotten just, downright dirty at this point. But the judge was like, still giving me an opportunity to do what I need to do. He's like, no, take your time, get this shit done, like take the steps. And it's like, okay, cool. But like, dude, I was so frustrated. And it was like being back there all over again, and it's like, I've been through the court system. I know this shit. I know the ins and outs. It's like,
that's PTSD, brother. That is PTSD. Yeah. I can't stand family court. I talked about that recently because I had court because of all that bullshit going on with my neighbor. My ex-wife was like, bro, why are you tripping? And I was like, oh, dude, I have PTSD from family court. That's just no joke.
Yeah.
This is the extent of Ox's impotence right here. Keep telling me how you feel. You are literally nothing, bro. Oh, that sucks. So what happened?
I mean, at some point it's fucking so I'm just waiting to hear back about we had to reschedule my visitation time with my kid, and we were able to reach an agreement about that on our own, so we had to go in for that. I tried to get the order terminated. I made it clear that wasn't happening right now, but they're like, but it's still like kind of flexible, so depending on what happens here, whatever. But so the point being that now we have to, of course, go back and do a custody thing because we're not in the right department for that, right? So, but it's basically just all this, like everything they were talking about in that video I was watching earlier. It is just petty ass squabbling and stupid shit, and it's just like I'm over it. Especially when it comes to my child.
That's the problem. Like, oh man. My ex-wife and I, we had to learn the hard way. The judge was harsh on us, but like, yeah, because at the end of the day, it's not about you; it's about the kid.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude. Family court's the worst, bro. I was trying to avoid this drama by not coming on your channel, but like, I missed you, bro. You're always invited on my channel too, and. No, seriously. After the conversation we had yesterday, like I've lived this like 4 or 5 times, dude. Family court. I only have one kid.
Right? Yeah.
My ex-wife and I, we sued each other for 4 years off and on.
Shit.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, we could have we joke about it all the time. Like we could have run around the world twice with the amount of money that we spent. We took out loans and shit, bro. It was dumb.
So that's what I'm considering right now, whether I should, if I should play the same game that she's playing back, you know what I mean? Because I could do that. I could totally just play exactly the same game she's playing.
I always jokingly say, like, don't take any legal advice, any medical advice from me. But like, you have to, you gotta, when someone swings at you, you have to swing back. And you have to get a lawyer. You have to get a lawyer.
Yeah.
You have to. And
I can't fucking afford a lawyer. There's no fucking way, dude.
I know what you're saying. Because quite honestly, like recently with all this stuff that happened with my neighbor and stuff, like I got a lawyer and he lost. He lost badly. And now he might, like, it's a long story, but he's probably gonna have to move because of people like Ox who live in their own little delusion. You have to get a lawyer because there's a saying, like, there's your side, my side, and the truth. And no matter what, you need someone who's going to speak with less emotion and more clarity. Oh, man. There's got to be. I'll get with you after. There's free lawyers and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and they're decent. My ex-wife used one, and she got her custody back and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy because that's what I learned, way back in my 20s. And the family court, it doesn't work the way you think of in criminal court. So I went in there, they were lawyered up, and I was just, I was out on my ass. I was living in my car at the time. And so, like, I showed up to court and I said, well, don't I have a right to an attorney? Like, these people are making criminal accusations against me, but they don't actually have to prove any of it. They're just like, this dude's this and that, blah, 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 just talking mad trash with nothing to back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's people like, and they're like, well, you're not entitled to an attorney, and how do you defend against this? I'm like, I don't have to defend against it. They don't have any evidence. Like, what are you talking about? They're like, oh, that's not the way this works, so.
Dude, I punked my ex-wife's lawyer to the point where he apologized at the end of all the court case. Like, I wanted to fight him so bad. But in the end, like, he was just telling me about myself. And I agree with Skyworks 600. Like, you got to find a way to keep a connection. And my ex-wife had monitored visits. Like, she completely had lost her custody, but she kept fighting. And the judge was like, you know what? You care. You just have to show that you care. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, I looked bad at first because I came with a fancy lawyer with the Italian suit, and she was just, with her pigtails, the poor woman who's getting sued by the guy with the lawyer, So it almost backfired on me at first, But you definitely need someone to represent you.
Yeah, I feel that way too, because it's hard for me to like even speak with the judge. And like this one's a pretty straightforward dude, like, and he worked with me, but at the same time, like, I so felt like she just gets to say whatever she wants, and then I'm just like, okay, short, sweet statements, and I'm constantly getting cut off and shit. You know what I mean? And it's like nobody says shit. Like, in our case, though, neither of us have lawyers, so it's like I don't even think. I think she's pretty stupid to represent herself too, because she's pretty cold, like, just as a person, and I think she kind of knows she is like she.
And parent alienation is real, and I know that you live in the state of California, so they will force her to integrate the child back in your life, no matter what.
Right.
As long as you're not on cell block on the cell block, in California we have one of the most comprehensive systems. Doesn't work, but there are certain things in place. So if you fight, you can get your rights back.
Yeah. Well, what they tell me, my rights have never been terminated, even for my other kids, right?
Okay.
And so, like, right now, it's just a matter of establishing custody, because we don't have anything through the court that's a permanent order. So,
oh gosh, I forgot about that. my ex-wife and I had the same issue.
It's all control freak shit, dude. It's like such the most control freak fucking bullshit. Like,
yes. Honestly, like, she bolted on me. I didn't see my kid for almost 8 months, and everyone who knows me is like, "What?" Because my kid's lived with me since he was like 2 or 3, and she didn't see him for almost a year.
Yeah,
like it's bad, bro. Like, and the funny thing is now we hang out. We smoke J's together. Like, I'm friends with her husband. It wasn't overnight, but he's my homie. Well, actually, I've known him longer than I've known her, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because I'll tell you, like, I was in your exact same position, like, in every way. And I was like, what am I going to do with myself? And that's when I ran to Portland and I relapsed in 2012. I ran to Portland because that's all I knew was freaking being a traveler and being on the blade and hanging out with seedy people,
Yeah,
So
I
just
mean,
don't punish yourself. All I'm saying is don't punish yourself, because I punished myself. Like you got to stay focused, because everything that's happening right now won't last forever. It may seem like it is. Like, I hate to quote you too, but you're stuck in a moment, man.
Fucking A.
No, dude. After
You two,
September
they're all
11th,
right. It's like I think the most overrated guitarist, though. Like
no,
I don't care.
they have bangers though. Like, they have some
Yeah.
hard tunes, but
Yeah.
like there's bands I don't like, but I'm like, that's a hard tune. Like, that's a hard tune. Like, I like that song, you know. It's not like ICP. Like, at first I judged them by their fans. I'm like, oh, they can't be that bad. And then I went to a show and I'm like, But you know, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing.
Exactly.
I've seen
I
Guar
know.
twice. And that's a life. That's like a life experience, man.
I was like, I still hear you, so I think we're all right.
My phone's not gigging out either.
Yeah, your camera just sketched a little bit, but not too bad. Might just be the camera.
Every time you want to talk about being a Karen, I freaked out on Spectrum because I was paying like for top tier internet and they weren't giving it to me.
This is like this shit that I get into with my family about, and I'll be like sitting there, with somebody, like, and they're like on the phone with these people for like hours, like, fuck, like, why even, fuck, man. But yeah, I mean, when you pay that much for like internet service and they can't get that shit right, that's got to be like super annoying, because
I pay for it because I'm streaming tons of computers. My son's on whatever PlayStation he's on it. You know what I'm saying? So I pay for it because I'm the hog using it, And man, I purposely paid for their like gold tier and I was barely getting a signal.
Yeah.
So
it was like I upgraded my data plan. It was like $10 a month, but it was like from the $40 a month to the $50 for my phone, right? Because I still had like the bare minimum Metro plan, and I was using it, and that's why I started getting pissed off. And I was like, "Fuck it, why am I getting pissed off about this? I'm gonna call customer service and shit." I just ended up fucking going back to the other plan because like it's not really any different. Like, why am I wasting $10 a month? Like.
I just recently went through and got rid of all the I signed up for these dumb sites like, oh, I want to watch this show, and then they get you because then they're charging you every month, and I'm like, I didn't even like the show. Why am I still on these stupid services? So I've really been downgrading everything. I asked my kid because the last old school thing I have is cable, and I asked him bro, what do you watch? He's like, I watch A&E. And I'm like, bro, they literally have an app for A. So that's probably going to be the next to go.
So what do you think about this concept? Like a couple people have introduced this to me recently that things like that, like this should be like a public service. Like we have now like in California, smartphones, public service, and then you have access to the internet, you have access to the news, all that good shit. And then so like should public transportation be the same way? Should all these things be just public services that, people shouldn't even have to pay for them, maybe below a certain income threshold or something?
Have you ever been to Reno?
Yes, I've been to Reno twice.
They're within a certain radius. It's a tiny city, but their buses are free.
Yeah.
I got shipped around for Carl's Jr. in my 20s. I was literally like the Black Gordon Ramsay. I would go like, this store is crap. We need to fix it. They paid me. I got to smoke weed on their dime. It was awesome. So Reno has free transportation. I personally thought it was amazing. Didn't need a car because I was in their little circle, their 10-mile circle. It was awesome. Just hop on the bus, say good morning to the bus driver, and it was reliable because they were getting paid a flat rate. So that bus was, and again, it's an entertainment city, so I'm all here for that. The NHS isn't necessarily what what people think it is as far as free healthcare, but I lived in Mexico And in Mexico, you can go to a pharmacy and buy the very inhaler that I take that costs $90 without insurance. You can buy it for $5 just on the blade with literally $5 in your hand.
Right.
And if you're sick, the doctor will say, like, oh, you need penicillin. You go to that same pharmacy and you say, you don't even hand them the slip. You say, hey, I need 20 amoxicillins. And they give them to you. Like, it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to not hurt yourself, basically.
Right. And you don't think there's any like possibility for negligence there, or that it could be more risky to do it that way? Like,
Mexico's one of the most corrupt places I've ever been, and it's run smoothly.
Yeah.
And it's corrupt as hell. And the funny thing is, like as Americans, we can say like, oh, Mexico's corrupt. They're openly corrupt. We're corrupt. We're like janky. We're janky in America. We'll wait to be janky to somebody.
I think the whole like behind closed doors shit is more
exactly like
more toxic.
We are more toxic than what we would consider a second world country like Mexico. You know, Mexico is actually.
Yeah, well, I don't.
What's that? Sorry.
I don't know if I consider Mexico. Well, yeah, when you say second world, I've heard people call it like a failed or a failing state. Like, you don't think that's the case? Like,
the problem is, much like America, it depends on where you live. So the North is lit. The North is what you hear about, like the cartels, and like Sinaloa is in the North. Chihuahua is in the North. Those are places you don't go unless you're from there or you look like everyone else that's from there.
Well, but the problem, though, right, with the cartels kind of carving out territories in such a way, it creates an environment where you have like a civil war, right? Like,
so
which is
I want to call him Vicente Fox, but that's the famous singer. Whoever was the president with the last name Fox, the guy who told Trump to stuff himself, he probably was a cartel himself, but he came to the cartels and was like, look, the war is over. I'm going to give you this part of the country. I'm going to give you this part of the country. I'm going to give you this part of the country. Okay. While he was president, the violence was at zero and the tourist industry thrived because that's what they make their money on, because Mexico, as far as their beaches go, is heaven. It's heaven. Like, it's tropical, it's beautiful, it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, but much like anywhere else, there's just massive violence there, so it's not talked about, you know?
Yeah.
And
you think that's what we do? We just suppress all of our violence?
We can't. As human beings, I think that's a part of the problem, is that we are suppressing our violence. Because I'm not saying that the 50s, like, when people were smacking each other, like, I don't know. It's just, we need to get back to the point where people humbly mind their own business. Because, like, I can disagree with somebody and still help them change the tire of their car. Like, if I saw somebody with a Trump sticker and they were on the side of the road, I'd help them.
Yeah.
You know, I like, unless they were like a complete deek to me, then I would be like, all right, peace out, bro. You know, but like, I'm not, I think we need to get back to indifference. We've become so myopic in our society that we wrestle every issue. And sometimes you have to be like, I'm going to be mellow on like 90% of these. And we have lost the power of saying, that's not my issue.
Yeah. I remember. That was a memory hook for me. I've been thinking about this guy, right? He used to come by when I first started doing security at the medical offices, and I had been there for a while because I had just gotten my car, my Mustang, and it was still looking pretty good at the time before I dinged it up. So I drove it down there, and there's this guy who came through. And he was a total fucking jackass, but his girlfriend was a little cutie, and he would come through, and his Mustang was older, it was all fucking beat up and fucking dirty and shit. I'd be like, "Fuck, dude, fix your car." And but they'd come through there pretty frequently. And one day he was out there, and he was stuck, and his battery was dead, And so I ended up coming out, just giving him a jump, Like, all right, man, but like that always stuck to me. Like, I had no reason to help that guy. I was just like, oh, you got a dead battery? Yeah, all right, I jump you, like, and he was
Yeah.
always, he was nice to me after that. You know what I mean? He's like, fuck, like I've been a total dick to this guy,
That's another thing. Like people front on me because I look scary when they see me in public with my patches, or like I've started wearing my what I call my non-offensive vest.
Yeah.
But like I'll always like people are shocked because I'm old school. I open up doors for people. I say excuse me when I walk past people, and like on this side of California, people are rude. People are rude as hell.
Right.
And so they're always like, oh, you're so polite. And like in my head, I'm like, aren't we all supposed to be? I think we should go back to that. I'm not saying we need to slap gloves and say, you've offended me, sir. But like, we have to, as human beings in our nature, it is in our nature to hurt ourselves. But as human beings, we also can think beyond ourselves. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's part of the problem with some of like the community, like the skeptical community. We tend to be like hypercritical people, and then we're like super critical of other people, and then we're not like checking our own shit and having that balance, Yeah.
I try to have that balance because I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not perfect, And so, but like I told you a long time ago, just because I know my imperfections, it's not okay for other people to use them against you.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like I want you to remember that. Like admit to yourself, but it's like okay, like I have to live with this. You have a choice. You can kick rocks. I don't like it when people start telling each other about themselves because you really don't know that person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you really don't know that person, So and the problem is too, like I said, we can think beyond ourselves. So we think too highly of ourselves sometimes too. Like I thought I was Speed Racer until I got in my car accident, and it reminded me I am not invincible.
I've accepted that, like, okay, so the way I see it is I have, a particular set of skills, if you will, right? But I've got to like dial that back because other people don't behave the same way I do. They're not, so they become aware of me, and that makes them nervous. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I've got to operate within that parameter. It's like, okay, yes, you can do this. You know your skill. But yeah, I've had a couple accidents too where I'm like, okay, step back, check myself, drive the speed limit for a little bit, and then like, oh no, wait, I can do a little better than 65 over here. I know where I'm at. I know what I'm doing. Like
totally. And I was raised by wolves, by aggressive human beings. And I have to remind myself sometimes that not everybody else was like that. Like legitimately, like I would bring my mom with me to a fight because I know she's good to knock out at least 4 people. I'm saying that jokingly, but like where I'm from, people do not play. And so, but I have to remind myself that like, I call it the New York mentality. Like on the West Coast, we don't say just, oh, F you, because that's a fist fight. But like when I went to New York, I witnessed like people saying, oh, go stuff yourself. And the other guy's like, you're not my type. And they just keep walking by.
Oh, it's like all the difference in the world too, being where I am now, like versus like, I came from Sacramento. Sacramento's rough, like, and you'd see like, cops would be like tossing homeless people's shopping carts in the street and shit, like just craziness. And then I come down here and it was like, oh yeah, wait, no, we got the whole like compassion thing going on in this community. Hold on, little buddy, like. Like, what are you doing? Like, so yeah, it was like, so now a lot more people are. Anyway, it's a much more pleasant place to be for the most part. So I like that part about it. But yeah, there's like the fuddy duddy, like, okay, yeah, we've got a lot of senior citizens. Slow down, stopping all the crosswalks. Like.
Totally. And I'll tell you, Jason Jacoby, when I went to the East Coast, it was culture shock because my cousin was like, hey, bro, like just That's how people say hello around here. I didn't get it, man. On the West Coast, those thumbs is fighting word. Awesome. Godless Sewing is a fake liar. I love that channel. You went through a lot of work for that. Let's stop. No, show him.
Oh, come on now.
We need to clap for that one. You were giving me so much attention. I like your channel. Keep that name. Anyways, that's effort, bro. That's effort right there. That's a fan. I acknowledge my fans. Bro, come on. I don't care that much. I'm literally sitting in sunshine, chiefing it up on my wizard pipe. Oh my God.
That is a nice pipe. What is that made out of?
It's wood. I got this at my smoke shop.
Do you know what kind of wood?
It's Baracchini. This is Italian because I learned from my pops that you get a decent pipe. It's always like some smoked cherry wood or something. Hey bro, I'm doing a live stream at 7:00. I want all of my people I stream with to see you. Please come through with the Godless Sewing is a fake liar. I'll make you a mod. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. I love that, dude. Ox, you are my biggest fan, bro. You are my biggest fan. We were chilling, having a good conversation, and you came in here for attention. This is the part of the internet where I'm like, dude, people are weirdos. Because he disappeared for a while and then came back for that one. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. No, I'm not going to be insulting to my biggest fan. I'm not going to be insulting. Oh, bro. How does my ass taste, Ox? Because you are just nose deep in it, bro. Anyways, when I went to the East Coast, they're it's just different breed,
Yeah.
It's a different breed, So on the West Coast, that's why people don't talk to each other. Like, at least here in Northern California, I did notice people are like a little bit more down home.
Yeah. It just depending, there's like isolated communities, and you go to the cities and it gets all crazy again. But all these little, suburban, townships and stuff that kind of keep it all together, and they tend to have you notice that you have the rural area in between you and the city all of a sudden, you know what I mean? And there's all the parks, and
that's why I always
it's a
say
nice place to live.
When I used to ride anywhere outside of Dunnigan, California, I consider Northern California
Dunnigan.
Only for the fact that that's where nothingness begins.
Right.
That's where the nothingness of California begins,
Nuts and trees as far as the eye can see, yeah. I've taken that drive many a time, yeah. I used to go back and forth from Sacramento to Redding, for years. So, what the hell was I going to say? Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, no, that's the plan I'm developing for the summer. If I can, what I want to try and do is get one of those Amtrak Unlimited passes. I've only been to the East Coast one time when I was a baby, and I don't even remember it.
Dude, take the Surfliner. Okay, the Surfliner, it goes from LA to San Diego. That's sick. But if you because where you are, you can take the Northern train, dude. Between Oregon and Seattle, it is so beautiful. It is so, and it goes through the backwoods of Oregon. I took the train one time. It was sick because I've taken the train a bunch, but I've gone more south because here, you'd have to get on a bus to go over the Sierra Nevadas.
Right.
Elon Musk was trying to build a he was trying to build a railroad, but he failed like every person before him.
I agree with Jason. I do want to go visit SPM. But yeah, I went on. I took the Amtrak from. We went from like Sac to Colorado. We had to go out and around on this big like. It was kind of it's like a scenic tour or whatever. I guess I think we went up by like the Donner Pass or some shit like that. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but but it was, we went and did that, and then we flew back. I think we took the train like just to do it. I don't remember, and but that was like a really memorable experience for my childhood. And when I lost my license a few years ago, I was going from Sacramento to Napa. I was living and working up in Sacramento, and then every week I'd come down to Napa. And so you'd have to take the Capitol Corridor train from downtown Sac down into Martinez, get on the bus, and then ride the bus down to Napa. So I was doing that every week to get to band practice. And it was quite a tour, but I started getting to like it. I really like like the train over here. The Smart Train's pretty cool. Like, and it saves you like it's like 10 minutes on what would be a 25 or 30-minute drive or something. You know what I mean? So you're like, yeah, all right. I just sit and ride the train, spare my car, spare the air. Fuck it.
Hell yeah. I've been to Boston as well. That place is like a bowl of spaghetti.
I've never been to Boston. Oh yeah, so the plan though to go to I want to go to New York, and I got to go upstate, and I want to visit my my little brother who's locked up, and do that.
Like, honestly, be careful. Like right now, New York City is lit, bro. Just be careful. Like, don't go to the island.
Oh yeah.
And if you're from New York, hey man, like I live in LA, I get it, but New York's videos are way more lit than LA's. Like we knew it was violent here. Those subway videos make me never want to go back to New York ever again.
Yeah. I usually just move through places like that pretty quickly, so I don't really end up into. But yeah, you never know if I can.
And that's another thing.
Head on a swivel.
LA is ginormous, so you can like live on the west side and avoid everything. It's huge.
Yeah, I know it's a trip the way that you can like go from one city to the next, like, and like it doesn't really like dawn on you how much bigger one community is than you know what I mean? Like you're like, oh shit. That's kind of the trip about working at a public transit place, like because you really do see like just about everybody in the city, you know what I mean? Like on some level, like every type of person, like it's like.
Do you know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When I left LA for the first time when I was a kid, because Arizona doesn't count because Arizona is kind of LA, like LA in this way. When I went north, I wasn't used to not seeing people of color. Like when I went to Oregon, I was like, holy cow, this is where all the white people live. But that was 20 something years ago when I lived in Oregon. The demographics.
I remember having that culture shock moment when the demographics haven't changed. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No, it's all right.
I remember having that culture shock moment when I went to Arkansas when I was younger. It was like the first or second time I was out there, and we were just chilling, me and my grandma, and we were in the grocery store or something like that. And like it was just this out of the blue moment that I realized, and there's a black couple, and they walked up, said hi, we were like, oh hi, blah blah blah, kept going, and then my grandma turned and just said to me outright, she was like, it's nice to see more colored people moving in around. I was like, what the fuck?
My grandma was racist like that too. My grandma, she had a caretaker, and they were all Filipino, and she looked at me and in Spanish, she was like, didn't we fight a war to get these people out of our country? And I looked at her and I told her in Spanish, you know, Filipino people speak Spanish too, right? And the nurse was like, we speak Spanish. She was from a different generation, man. I agree with Jason Jacoby. The 10 is in the middle of is nowhere. You know what's funny? I like driving to Vegas, which is pretty much the same middle of nowhere drive, but it's only 3 hours. The drive to Phoenix is like 4. It seems like it's freaking 20 hours to get to Phoenix.
I think I've only been to. Have I been to the Phoenix airport? I think I did a layover there once, but yeah, no, I've never actually been through Arizona. Arizona and Texas, I just remember, or maybe we drove through. Yeah, we drove through Arizona. Now that I think about it, that's it was the Dallas airport that was hot as the fucking pit of hell.
I drove.
Yeah.
Man, you really have to like somebody. My ex-wife's brother and I went from basically where I'm sitting now to Brownsville, Texas. It was the most monotonous nothing drive I have ever done in my entire life, and I will never do it again. I will fly. I'll pay for everybody to fly. Since I'm sitting in my mother's garage, I have tons of money. But I will never do that again. I will never do that again. Are you kidding me? Those drives, like I drove one time from Santa Monica to Georgia, and that was an awesome drive once we got past Texas. But I was with my ex-girlfriend and I really, really liked her. So it was an experience, you know.
Right. Yeah, the last time I was in, we didn't go all the way in, but we went to the outskirts of Reno. We went out to drawing a blank, Tahoe. Sorry, that was easy. Yeah, me and my ex, and we drove up there, and it was nice. It was one of the last like really, really good trips we had together. Yeah. We were adventurous together. I miss that about us, you know. Even though we were toxic and shit, you know, we were pretty adventurous. It's good stuff.
I'll tell you, Jason Jacoby, like I didn't have a bad experience in Texas, and we stopped in San Antonio and we partied hard, and they like people puff, and you know I love going to states where weed is super illegal because everybody smokes there, so it's easy to find.
So that's interesting. Do you think we're like outlanders? Like you can't be on the inland. Is there something about the inland?
Oh, dude, look at how look how Ox was screaming about Cali and all that. People literally hate us because we live somewhere where the sun shines. Like there is a big difference. Like I will never forget when I was a kid. My pops did a run with all of his buddies to the Mojave Desert, and we went to the giant gorge. We went to Calico, and you know, all the kids in the RVs, we were all behind all the bikes and stuff. And when all the RVs started pulling up, I'll never forget this hillbilly lady, and this is in California, but we're out in the middle of the desert, and she's like, "You Flatlanders need to get out of here." I looked at my mom like, what does that mean? I said it in public because I was just young enough to not care. Like, what does Flatlander mean? Yeah, so what? We're Flatlanders. So what? San Antonio is tons of like the river walk. Like I had a good time. Lots of people talk trash about places. Like I've been all through the South, and I didn't I saw people were weird towards me, but like they're weird towards me in California. I don't know. I am a South basher though. Like I try not to be, but I inadvertently am a South basher.
Yeah, I want to get geared up for that though, because I've always considered myself a traveler. I just haven't had the opportunity as much as I would have liked to in my adult life. And right now, I'm like, what's stopping me? You know, like
I was homeless for 10 years. I was like, when people like say, "Oh, I went overseas and I went backpacking through Europe." Nah, bro, you were homeless in Europe and you had a great experience, but be real. Like you were homeless. It's we put these romantic words on things, you know.
Yeah. Well, then there's other people who actually do go. Like my dad went backpacking in Europe, but he was like a scholarship ball player. He had all this privilege.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go back and
Couldn't make it into the pros though. He couldn't pass the physical requirements. So
how do you screenshot on an iPhone? You know what? Let me get my other one.
I don't know anything about iPhone.
No,
My
I have a
Android,
newer. I have a newer phone, and I just honestly do not know how to navigate it. I was raised by boomers. Like
Yeah.
I do not know how to navigate my phone.
Yeah, I'm like, I remember when Al Gore discovered the internet. I'm an old person, yay!
And my older phone. Oh, sorry, I still have a bad habit of doing that. My older phone. I know how to navigate it. I went from an iPhone 8, no, iPhone 7 to a 12, and I don't know how to use my phone. But I have
So
to.
is that
screenshot
Dallas
this.
Fort Worth? The 80s in Dallas Fort Worth. It was like nothing
Yep.
with crap in between one another.
Oh, that's funny. I've been to Austin too, and that is the gayest place in Texas.
So that's also on my bucket list. I want to go down to the atheist community of Austin just to do it. I think it'd be fun. Just go
I
hang
want to
out
go to
down
the
there.
Ark. I want to go to the Ark Encounter before someone really loses it and burns that place down. Because I really it's just one of those things, like, because I've seen so many videos about it, I want to see it. I want to see it with my own two eyes. Would they let me walk in there with my godless patches and stuff?
I'm not sure. I've heard that most of the I think most of the content creators that go in there kind of go in there incognito, but I don't know how strict their security really is because they get a lot of material out of there. So I don't know.
I've seen people. Yeah, you're right. I've never seen someone overtly go in there because, like, I always jokingly say, "Oh, I'm on Black Twitter," but like on Black Twitter, people go in there all the time and then they walk out and make fun of it.
Right? Yeah. Or they'll be openly making fun of it while they're in there. They're just doing it kind of under their breath or whatever. It's like
because my ever since I got doxxed, I've been sporting my godless sewing vest that has my town on it, and like no one really cares, but like I don't know, it's different. I'm from here. People know me, and so people treat me accordingly. Like I could walk into a church wearing the godless vest, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's just sewing." You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know if I was in, like, because I want to go to a bunch of sewing shows, but I don't know if I wear my godless sewing vest, is that going to trip people out? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, you might turn some heads. I mean, but it's like you're wearing a bad religion shirt out or anything like that, right? Like it's pretty much you almost get the same response most of the time.
True.
Like if you encounter those people, or you just get some dirty looks and then they walk away.
It took me forever to figure out. My cousin had a Misfit shirt that was two wieners, and I can't remember what the skull was, but forever my brain was like, "Oh, that's a skull shirt." And one day I was like, "That's two giant D's, dude. That's actually a funny T-shirt." Because Texas, and another thing, like a lot of what I'm going on is based on things that I see online, because it was different when I traveled. No one cared. You could come and smell like a campfire. No one cared. You could come and literally dress like a boxcar hobo. No one cared. It goes back to what I was saying, like when people kept their mouths shut. Like I have opinions on everything, but I keep my mouth shut most of the time.
Yeah. Or you turn to somebody and go, "That fella looks a little strange to me." And he says, "Yeah, I better keep an eye on him."
I hang out with a few people that speak Spanish, but it's different because everyone speaks, like every other person speaks Spanish here, and I'm not talking about like just people of color. Like there's Caucasian people that speak Spanish here, you know. I have the sign of Baphomet tattooed on my back. Heck yeah.
Nice.
Okay. I have a funny story.
Okay, go ahead.
Really quickly, I picked up my mom from the airport one time, and freaking I have a black vest that has more on the front. And do you remember the semi-racist band Volbeat? They were from Sweden, but they were like taking on the Trumper way. I took one of their patches and put more on top of it, but on the back it's a giant Baphomet, and underneath it's like two people holding hands. I put an old Slayer patch on it. I wore it to the airport and had the entire security following me around to the point where when I grabbed my mom's bags and I walked up to my mom and they were like, "Do you know this man?" Because my mom is a Caucasian person and we are two completely different colors. So Baphomet scares the shit out of people. I wear it every time I go to Burbank Airport now too.
There I am. That was great. Yeah, that was in Burbank too, of all places. And then, like, I didn't know Volbeat did they do or say some racist shit, or they just went conservative, or what?
Yeah,
the
they
fuck was
just went super Trumper conservative.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I just remember they just kind of disappeared all of a sudden. They like came out, they had a couple big they just nothing.
I take symbols of hates like I have a bunch of like wannabe KKK shirts, a bunch of like I take symbols of hate and turn them into something else, you know. With my sewing and stuff, I always incorporate them into something else.
Yeah. Yeah,
Actually,
we did something like that. Speaking of which, too, me and my ex, we were so I had we had a thing called this sounds fucked up. It was called the KKK Project, and we were taking it back. We were like, yeah, it's a symbol of hate, like kind of what you're saying. We're like, okay, we're gonna find some way to make something productive out of this, and so the next time you see a swastika, you're no longer offended, and that guy could just go fuck himself, like, you know. That type of shit, whatever. But you know, it was it was ill advised. So I stuck this fucking thing in my window, right in the window of my car, and this woman comes out of her apartment. She was fucking livid. She was like, "You don't have that shit around here." And so I had to like walk inside. I went inside her apartment and explained it to her. And I was like, no. And she's like, I think you got good intentions, but you're a little confused. And I was like, yeah, maybe I was. But yeah, she totally fucking wigged out on me. I had to like, but once I fucking like sat back and talked to her and told her what I was talking about, she's like, okay, I get what you're saying, but
that's effing
I still think you
hilarious.
should take that shit out of your window. I'm like, oh yeah.
I gotta go tell my kid to get dressed. He's homeschooled, so he lives in his pajamas, and I consider like getting dressed like an accomplishment for the day.
Yes.
I told him like,
You
look,
got it.
kid, like you're so spoiled, you have no idea, dude.
Yeah, I was lucky in that situation.
I have like a Monday tradition where I go to the grocery store. It's my human interaction. I usually go to the dispensary, but I went yesterday. That's why I'm like laughing at my biggest fans instead of engaging with them.
Oh yeah. Laugh at everything. Laugh at everything you can.
No, but
well, yeah,
like,
I'll see you in a couple hours then, right?
Oh, dude, you're totally invited to come on too. I'm just gonna, the Godless Sewing channel. It starts off as talking about sewing, and then it just turns into old people saying how much better the world was back in the day. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my channel to Godless Nostalgia. And I'm not an ageist. I think I always say this, like we cannot say the younger generation sucks because they learn from us.
Exactly.
So I am not as critical as I say I am, but like if you can't count, then you shouldn't have a service job. I'm just saying, like, come on. If I give you $2 If it's $1.75 and I give you $2 and you have to like look at the register, you need professional help.
But also in a weird way, it's like the youth also like benefit from the criticism of the older people, and they see the way those older people are behaving. They're like, damn, I don't want to be like that guy when I get older. So they get, they do that too.
That is true, because I grew up around some real rage monsters. That is true. That is true. And I always feel like if you say, oh, the world's a bad place, then you have to stop the cycle. You know what I'm saying? You have to be the one to be like, all right. I'm not gonna, and the only way I can return the favor is not treat my kid the way my parents treated me. And plus, times were different back then, anyways.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm streaming tonight, 7:00. I'm actually making a code. I made. Let me see. I'll pull up the pin side. I made a red one of these. I mean, I made a blue one, and so I'm an equal opportunist.
Nice.
So I'm making a red one. I entered. I'm actually a functioning adult, even though I don't present as one on the internet. And I entered this contest called So Frugal for weirdos like me who hoard fabric. And I'm about to give these Europeans a run for their money.
What is up, cat?
How's it
People have
going?
been saying it was better back in the day since the time of Plato.
No, I try not to be like a total. I'm not an ageist because that's BS. There's the younger generation. They're cool too. But like, it always turns into that because everyone I stream with, most people I stream with are over 40 or almost tipping it.
Yeah.
So like it always and Kilroy is always in the chat like, here comes the old people time.
Whenever I see Kilroy, I think of my other friend who I don't think does YouTube, but she's an academic, you might say. Very interesting character, but yeah, she helped me get my Chromebook and stuff. So I was like, I know she's watched some of my videos before. We have a very interesting relationship, but she's an older woman, So yeah.
Up until my ex-wife, every woman I dated was 10 years older than me.
Yeah, I tend to trend towards that. Like, I've dated a couple of chicks my own age, but most have been older. Like, especially in my adult years. So,
yeah,
I don't know. There's something I think it's just a maturity level thing or whatever.
Exactly.
But I don't feel like I'm that mature. Maybe that's.
It's kind of a reflection. Like, I look back because I wasn't mature when I was 25, and I dated someone who was my age now, but I couldn't date someone that was 25 now. When I was in my 30s, I was boinking a 20-year-old, but like we just basically were like, okay, this is sex. This is sex. So every time we came together, we just have sex, and then we'd like go to Denny's, handshake, and then I'd drop her off.
I will go to the bar. I will watch someone for 5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, she's kind of attractive. And then I will see her go to her group of people and start interacting. And then and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? I could not deal with that on a daily basis. I'm not hanging out with that. It's just like constantly younger people, man. I'm just like, okay. Older crowds I get along with. Like, we get the same vibe. But anytime I'm around a younger crowd, I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I don't know if we used to look like that to older people or.
But do you and I'm not trying to get over analytical, but do you think it's pre-internet though? Because
right, yeah.
As human beings, and this is more chemically speaking, we build up a certain amount of cortisol in our brain every time you're told no. Okay. And people used to talk shit about microwaves and say it was doing it to us then. But this generation is told yes more. You turn on your phone, like everything you do says yes to you. Everything you do, no one says no to you, So in that sense, we're just a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know,
That makes sense.
and that's more from a chemical. That's more chemically speaking, because you can also talk trash about the boomer generation because they grew up around petrol that makes you crazy. And so the gas that they were pumping literally bores holes in your brain slowly over time. You know, so you turn into Napoleon. You know.
What the fuck? That's an actual mind blower.
What's that?
So wait. You're saying, fossil fuels and the internet have ruined our consciousness?
The quest in every direction for both of them. Do you know right now there are people on the coast of Africa dying because we send all of our computer trash to other countries who we pay them millions and millions of dollars. But where is it? There's a somewhere in Ghana, somewhere in Senegal, the average age is 34 because of all the chemicals in the computers and all the crap. And these people live around the dumps and they don't live long, you know?
Okay. Yeah, like
We're trash monkeys as human beings. We generate trash and we say, oh, we're gonna push it over here.
But isn't that like just an issue of poverty though? Right? Like that particular issue. Like
Oh, I'm not blaming just the West because these are the same countries saying, I'll take your $1 billion contract. And then these people move to other countries. So while their country is being destroyed, Nigeria is the best for that. Do you know Nigeria, their GMP is more than America and they have as many people as there is in America. But as Americans, people rarely talk about things like that, you know, but they're impoverished like Brazil. Brazil isn't broke, but their people are. You know what I'm saying? Mexico is the largest on this side of the globe. Mexico is the largest producer of diesel fuel. Everybody in Mexico should be on a Segway right now. It's corrupt. You know, it's corruption. It's corruption, you know.
Kat, that's why you're here. You're with your people now.
I miss my feral. I'm still feral. Do you know, because I was a hobo for 10 years, it took me a long time to be able to sleep inside. And I just now I'm to the point where I can sleep without a fan on.
Yeah, that one I struggle with. Silence, man. Silence.
You can't do it, yeah. I did a lot of camping. I'll never forget when I first came back from like my 10-year run. My parents were like, hey, you want to go camping? And I looked at my dad dead in his eyes. I was like, bro, I used to be homeless. And he's like, oh yeah, I'll see you on Monday. Like, hell no, I don't want to go hang out in your stupid camper. No, get out of here. Good times, man.
Yeah, and on some level, that's why I was like, fuck, dude, like, I work with bus drivers. Like, these motherfuckers are driving around. Like, I sleep in between two fucking bus stops. They've seen me sleeping in my car, you know, like fucking 8 in the morning or some shit, you know.
I used to sleep at this one spot off the 101 freeway. And there was this one Hispanic lady. She would wait for her bus. And if I ever woke up when she was like, and I always worked night shifts. So I was always like sleeping in for a reason. And I'll never forget I like off and on, I was homeless off and on in LA for 3 years and I ended up moving to Portland. When you're habitually homeless, it stains you. Long story short, when I would wake up, she would always be giving me a dirty look. And I'm like, look, bro, I'm homeless. I don't need your look of disapproval. What is wrong with you, old lady? Like, she probably thought, like, I'm going to work and this lazy bum's just laying there, not knowing that I was working, you know, literally working the third shift, you know, or second shift.
I have a job too, yeah.
Yeah, you know. Judgment is crazy. Judgment's crazy. I'm gonna have to take off in like 10 minutes though.
Oh, all right. Stick around till then. I think I'm probably gonna run this till like 5 because if I don't get this phone call before then, I'm waiting on this fucking phone call there. Visit
I'll be
my
right back.
kids.
I'm gonna go till you can. When I leave, everyone can come and tell their harrowing story how they surviving. That needs to be a channel. Surviving sewing, like R. Kelly. Surviving R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Freaking chumps.
Surviving R. Kelly. I'm gonna piss on you. What's that? What did they do that? Was it Mad TV or SNL?
Oh,
do you remember who did the R. Kelly parody? Was it SNL? Yeah, it was Mad TV wasn't around then. You know
It
what I'm
might
talking
have
about?
been. It might have been Dave Chappelle because that's when people really started admitting that we all knew that he was a weirdo.
I'm looking it up right now.
R. Kelly got a pass forever. I look how the homeless people got weird as hell when they see me walk around like I was good. Same. Do you know, like, I've got that look before. And I'm skinny, and all people are like, "Oh, that guy's on drugs." And I'm probably more sober than you are. I'm California sober. I love saying that.
And this video changed my life as well. Math P, yes. That's a good one. But yeah, it was apparently it was Dave Chappelle. I knew I remembered it from somewhere. Oh, now everybody wants to text me and shit. I see how it is.
I want to. That threw me off for a second.
Sorry, it always takes like a few seconds to load up or something, man. So they don't have that fancy internet service.
He really said, "Prove me wrong," like we were in church. Oh my gosh. I'm sending the screenshot to all those people that are like, "Oh, he's not stalking you." Bro, you guys, I'm an atheist. I will not join your religion. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
Man, I paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it. Others wanna love. I don't even want it. None of the above, I want to piss on you. Piss on you, I'll piss on you. I'll pee on you. Set your body is a porta potty. And my pee got kicked.
Ew.
It's on you, you never feel quite the same.
Jason, the lag always throws off the algorithm, don't you know? Kat, yes. People thinking you're high all the time. I get people thinking, well, okay, I should address that because I said something in the stream the other night. So nobody here has accused me of being high. My doctor didn't accuse me of being high. My therapist didn't accuse me of being high. Nobody at work has accused me of being high. But one person did accuse me of being high since I've been on my medication and not smoking and stuff. And so I'm like, okay. So I got like kind of pretty pissed off at that person. And then I said something. But I was like projecting, right? Probably because it's just that one person who like doesn't fucking want to hear fucking reality, right? Fuck, whatever. So I want to piss on you. Oh. Plippa.
Sorry, I'm too busy laughing at my new fan. I absolutely love it. It makes me laugh. I smoke
Now
weed,
you're friends.
make clothes, and play a gang of Mario 64 because I live in the past.
I've been reading the Homer book, the first one.
The Iliad?
Yeah, I'm reading the Iliad. I already read the Odyssey first. I read that one like 2 years ago or something. Yeah, and it's pretty good. But this one's got like a whole introduction and shit. So I'm still reading that part where it's like giving you like all the historical context and shit. So it's pretty crazy, man. Like this is gonna be a thick one. Yeah, and fucking. I've been looking into getting a gaming system. I got that PSP, but I still haven't ordered a battery for it. So, but I'm like, I want to like stream games like while I'm doing convos like this, one of those types of deals.
Dude, I have an emulator in here. So not an emulator, like it's one of those things that you plug in and it allows you to play your Nintendo 64. I forgot what it's called, but I need to find this stinking thing. It's somewhere in this mess in this freaking room. But I was thinking about doing the exact same thing because like I have a gang of really rare Nintendo 64 games. Because my ex-wife's brother was like, "Oh, you still playing Nintendo 64, bro? Here's all my Star Wars games." All like, I was like, "Are you serious?" And he gave them to me for free. So
gotcha.
People can watch me get killed over and over and over because I don't know how to play any of them.
Yeah. I'm like, I do, but I was really into Grand Theft Auto, and then I got a little bit into like Red Dead Revolver and those ones, but after that, I kind of just fell out of the loop. I was like, I just don't know what any of the new shit is. And then I last year I got into some a bit because I was playing shit. I can't remember what the game's called.
Pay for play is offensive. When I bought Isaiah his PS4, like total nostalgia, old guy, I got Mortal Kombat. They make you like they're like, oh, you have to pay for this and this and this, and I'm like, dude, I just bought the game. What are you talking about? I'm old. Can I just play?
Oh, like just for the basic arcade shit, or what were they trying to make you pay for? Like
for new characters or upgrades, or like they were constantly trying to upscale me. And like as an old schooler who hadn't played video games, like I was homeless throughout my entire 20s. In my 30s, I was getting married and just being my general crazy self. So in my 40s, like I hadn't played video games in a long time,
Yeah.
So modern day video games, I'm like, dude, I think they're kind of BS. That's why I like the old school ones where you put the cartridge in and you play to the end. It's old. I'm old guy though. I'm like total old guy. Like, get off my lawn. Oh, yeah, but I
like to think I'm not there yet.
You know what? My pops used to always tell me, you have to grow up, but you don't have to grow old. There's a
I think it's like when you
know.
I think what they tend to mean is like when you stop enjoying things and when you stop, like like I always see it as like the reason you didn't want to grow up, like the whole Peter Pan thing. Like you didn't want responsibility, right? Like it's like because you just want like everything at your leisure.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
but then like as you get older, it's more like compromise. But then if you like take it too far, then you get like where you're like a workaholic or whatever. You just tune out, and then you have no enjoyment of life anymore. You know what I mean? And people just get stuck that way.
Oh, dude, I
Like
call it plateauing. Like I said, like I told you yesterday, like I call it plateauing, and I try to learn from people. And there's people I really respect, and they just hit a certain, like, they hit a certain level, and they never changed. I have a cousin who, on the surface, is one of the most like badass people on earth, but to me, he has the mind of a 20-year-old because he did 10 years in prison. And so
yeah, yeah.
so when he came back. So when he came back, like he's mentally still a 20-year-old, and it's in his head, it's 1992. you know. Oh man.
That's like my brother is like he's been in prison for shit 9 years or something. And he went in like right after he turned 18. And every time I talk to him, it's like the same dude. Like he, you know, we're questioning, his mental soundness and stuff like that right now. But like, but
I think
to me, he just sounds like he hasn't grown at all. Like there's, all of his experience is just repeating the same, day over and over. It's like Groundhog Day shit,
Exactly. And that's the problem with prison is that it's the same. It's not about rehabilitation. So we really need to stop saying that. It's just about housing these people that did something bad and taking them away from society. Well, there's a byproduct of that. They start extorting each other, they start fighting because that's what humans do. And isolation makes you crazy.
Yeah.
And
that's
that's
what
the
they do with
old.
him. He spends a lot of time in the hole because he won't stay on his meds.
Yep.
I guess
Yep.
in New York prisons, they cannot force you to take your medication. Like they can't inject you or anything like that. So if you refuse to take your meds, you just whatever.
Oh, dude, in Cali. I don't know. Do we have those laws here? I've never come across that. Do we have those laws?
Yeah, here I think they would force you in some way or like put you in a cycle or something. But over there, they
Cops
just throw
don't
you in
play, bro.
solitary, which is pretty much the same thing.
Dude, we live in a freaking police state. The cops don't play here. Like they do not play here. If you're in the system, like if you're free, you would never know how effed up the system is. But the system is scary effed up.
Yeah. I don't know. But then I'm like, fuck, try working in one of them, That's
Whoa. All right, I gotta take off. I gotta go get ready for going to the store and stuff. Gotta go be a responsible adult and feed the tribe.
All right, Godless. Well, you do your thing.
Tonight, you're invited, man. 7:00. Come on through. If you're on a Twitter, send me a shoot. Ever since I got dogged, I blocked half the atheist community because they make excuses for weirdos. So send me a shoot on Twitters and I'll send you a link. If not, I'll probably just put one. I may or may not put one in the chat. Tonight, I don't think I'll put a link in the chat. But thank you for putting my channel there. Like, no, bro, but honestly, like there's a lot of fake people online, and like you're one of the you're a real dude. Don't forget that. Like ever since I met you, like you've always just been yourself, and I respect that because people get funny when they think they're getting popular,
Yeah.
They get real weird.
Thanks for coming by, man.
I'll be around, man. Hit me up tonight.
All right. I'll see you later.
Godless sewing. Come check me out.
The sewing. And it is So, we didn't solve the dispute, but hey, whatever. Life goes on. I tried. At least I could say I tried. Right? Feigned to try. I said I was going to try. Well, wait. But you can't, like, solve it, Okay, it's hard to, like, resolve these things in the side chats sometimes, more than words or some shit. Or maybe just some shit just doesn't get resolved, but, it's okay because everybody can move on. And be okay with that. I don't know how this shit works. Yeah, so I got another. Yeah, like I said, if I don't get this phone call, I'm just going to assume it's not going to be coming today, and then I could. Looks like I got a text here. Should I put them on live if they call? They might call. I've done this a couple times before. Just accept incoming phone calls on the stream. It's like, hello, you're on live with the Trusty Podcast. Like, is this Kevin's number? No. Oh, I wouldn't do that to you. Why would I do that? No. Ooh, Deconverted Man has a live interview going. We can watch that. Woohoo! Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
There's just making it up.
Slave of Christ.
So
boy.
I know there are a lot of things that could get messed up with the flesh and spirit. That's why Scripture says, "Discern all spirit."
Oh,
They are
Jason.
from God.
Are these your therapy sessions or someone else's? Because if you're the therapist, that would be highly unethical.
So,
highly unethical.
If we could, this sounds to me like
Oh,
it's
okay.
potentially
This makes sense.
testable. If we recorded enough people speaking tongues, it would seem to me if it's an actual language that we could learn how to interpret it without any need of prayer, that we would just understand it. Whereas if it's more of that there isn't, it's not a language in that sense, but it's, the words and sounds are going to be different every time, but they're going to have certain meanings on a spiritual level. Then that's something we couldn't. We couldn't test it in that case. So which of those two, or was it somewhere in the middle?
So what I would say is, you can't paste spirit with human knowledge. So you have to be spiritual to understand spiritual things. I used to know what are the words of the Bible, and I used to actually laugh at those things. Because like the carnal mind, the human mind, does not understand the things of God. So only the Spirit of God can lead you to the truth of God. You can get to the truth of God by your own, carnal mind.
That's okay.
That's why you need the Spirit, because human wisdom
What?
is like foolishness to God. So is the wisdom of God is also foolishness to us.
Okay, so this man is literally speaking gibberish to us right now, right? I mean, it's what?
So what the thing that you can do is you could read the Bible and you could read the gospel and say that how did the apostles reacted when they were speaking in tongues. You see that their life has changed. So in Acts chapter 2, when the disciples were baptized with the Holy Spirit, and Peter started preaching, although he denied him like some days ago, he started being bold to the gospel. They shared all what they had, so they were compassionate towards each other. They were living the life of holiness. So if a person is speaking, if they say that they're speaking in tongues,
I'm fucking dead. Is that still what the fuck is going on over here?
That's just fake.
Right.
Also, any
So
kind of teaching.
I'm wondering if we could get on, because I'm sure we could get audio recordings or video.
They've got all
recordings.
kinds of audio and video recordings of people speaking in tongues. Is anything up here broken to you? I mean, on my end, not. I know it's broken over there. This is it's looking really strange. Oh yeah, I should put a like and a hello over there. And helmet. Just gonna full metal reset here. Before you do anything else, Logic to the rescue. God, this is so fucking weird. Why does it do that on StreamYard sometimes? It's just, I guess you just have to be there to see it. Okay, hit the like. Correctly. It's a little mischievous.
Be better to just have audio, because
you can't see it. Hold on, I'll show you again.
Experiment. If we could get somebody that we know is faking to record something that's meant to be tongues, and then we get somebody that has been confirmed that they're not faking and they're speaking tongues, then we have those two recordings. So of course they're labeled. The subject doesn't know which one is which, and we get people perhaps like yourself in and say, okay, identify which one's the real one and which one's the false one. Do you think that if we did that experiment, we could find the real one every single time?
I don't think that's possible because I don't have the gift of discernment. That's actually a separate gift.
Okay.
Interpreting.
So we would need to. Right. So we'd have to find somebody that has the gift of discernment to be able to do that experiment. Then.
No, we don't. You don't. Here's like people's problem. So they try to figure out themselves.
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, God is the one who gave this gift. So you don't have to try to actually do those kind.
Right.
When the thing is happening, God will give you the thing that is available at the time. So don't stress about it. Whether is this thing real, is this thing real? You know what I'm saying? But
so, I is there then? Because I'm trying to find a way, if there is a way to test this phenomenon, to see, because I don't know. I'm an observer. I'm a skeptic. I want to know if somebody's Joe Blow over there says, "Hey, look, I can interpret the tongues." I'm like, "Well, that's interesting. I'd like you to demonstrate that that's true." And so if I have
Does not have the gift
some
of discernment.
experiment like
That's
this, that I'm coming up with
that's troubling.
my head, I'm sure we could make it better, but and then I could be assured, like, okay, they really are doing this for real. I don't have to just believe them that they're able to do this. So is there anything like that, or is it that that it's not testable at all, and so I'd have to believe them or not believe them on my own, and just that's it. There's no way to test it then?
That's like what I don't understand. They memorize like these talking points, and then they just keep finding. So that is like a super circular. Like all these guys of this vein, they're super circular, right? And so they could just keep. Yeah, it's like no, you're not actually going anywhere. You keep returning to the same talking points over and over again, just finding new ways to craft the argument. Yeah,
I don't think that's relevant because there are a lot of things that we can test. Doesn't mean because it doesn't have any kind of effect over our life. If I'm prophesying and you're you know if two people are prophesying over your life, that is the thing that will affect your life in a certain way, because they're going to persuade you in a certain way. But if a person is like speaking in tongues, and if God is not the one that authorized what he's doing, it doesn't have any kind of effect on my life. So why would I care if that person is really baptized with the Holy Spirit?
Well, yeah, I mean, you yourself might not care, but I very much care because I want to know, and so that's what I'm asking. If I'm understanding you correctly, because I don't want to put words in your mouth, are you then saying there is no way that you know of that we could test this phenomenon and see what's going on in a scientific sense? Could
no,
discuss.
No, they're not.
Okay, interesting. Why is that the case? Is it simply we don't have the technology yet, or is there a different reason for that?
I'm gonna go AFK, BRB.
It's just like the human mind cannot grasp the things of God. That's why it's like spiritual things are discerned by the spiritual aspects. They're not discerned by human understanding. So our mind is kind of curious of things, what is happening. You know what I'm saying? So, but if I'm baptized with God, with God's Spirit, and if I have the Spirit of Christ in me, God is going to tell me if I'm doing wrong things.
Right.
But doesn't necessarily mean that everything that will happen in the world, I'll say like this is from God, this is from Satan, this is from God.
Yeah. How would I go about doing that? That's kind of my other thought on if it's not testable, because I'm an outsider, obviously, and I go, okay, I go to church A, and they do their thing. They seem, normal as such things go, and I go to church B and they do their thing, and I go, okay, well, how do I determine? Let's say that I accept that there's a potential that one is evil and one is good, and how do I deduce which one is good and which one is evil? How would I go about that if I don't have a way to test that? Or
I
do I
don't
have?
think there's a way to test that in that scenario. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but then how would I know if being an outsider, like I said, if I'm presented with, say, Christianity versus I don't know what an evil religion would be, but whatever that is, praying to Satan or whatever, something silly like that, which I don't think is, maybe somebody does it, I don't know, but if those were the two options, and I simply go, well, they think they're right, and there's no way to test. How do I know who's right?
That's actually a good question because, as I've said before, I believe in predetermination. So I don't believe in free will. I don't.
Okay.
I totally don't believe that you could make a choice to go to heaven or hell. It's just like God predetermined a certain chosen people before the foundation of the world, and those people will be saved. But some people are like predetermined to go to hell or like go to pardon or whatever. So
Oh, well, I don't know. It's not good.
so that's what I think. So a lot of Christians, there's like two positions in theology. I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, there's many positions in theology.
No, in regards to atonement.
Oh, right. Yeah, there's many ideas about that as well.
So in atonement, there's just two. There's universal atonement, and there's in Christian theology. That's what I'm saying, like the Protestant.
Okay. Okay, right.
So there's a universal atonement where Jesus died for everyone.
Right.
So, like Jesus died for everyone that was in the past. Jesus died for everyone that will be in the future.
Right.
So that's called.
I think I tried talking twice and I was muted. So, and I just broke the side view mirror off my 442 here. Here's one for my son. Got the olds. Not too bad. Now I gotta super glue this little fucker back on. In the ass.
Universal atonement, and the other is limited atonement.
Right.
Jesus died for a certain chosen people.
Right.
And those people will be saved in the end.
Right.
So what I believe is you have to be before the foundation of the world, and it is God who saves you. You can't actually do nothing about your salvation.
So would it be that, and hypothetically possible, that somebody, we're looking from the outside, we're just observing people's behavior. We see somebody go into the Christian church and somebody go into the devil church or whatever, that we're making up for this scenario. And we are able to observe them both die, and we see that the Christian actually went to hell, but the other guy, he went to heaven because that's just where they were supposed to go. Is that so? In giving us in this scenario, powers we don't really have, but would it be possible that somebody, despite their religion or belief, is going to heaven regardless, and then somebody else is going to hell regardless, or does their belief align, that the person would never go to the devil's church if they're supposed to go to heaven? Is what
Again, I would say that belief is a gift from God. It doesn't come from yourself. It's not like I'm trying to believe what God is saying. It is God that gives you the belief in the first.
Well, then how does God decide who to gift a belief to?
That's why you see a lot of people who have been grown, they grew up in the church, or they were like pastor's son, but they end up, atheists, or they end up like Satanists or whatever, because they were not predestined. And someone, living in Pakistan, or where Christianity is not famous at all.
Right. Yeah. Somebody, I'm thinking, somebody maybe that never heard of it at all.
Yeah, but like they believe in Jesus and they go to heaven.
Yeah.
So, Scripture says that God predestined a certain people to be saved.
Right.
Those people have faith in God, but the faith is from God. It's not from yourself.
Right. So I suppose from my weirdly hypothetical scenario, it might be that from the outside, there's no way you or I know who's going to heaven or hell. That's up to God, and whatever religion they happen to be in, we can't say, hey, yeah, you're in the wrong. I mean, yeah, from my perspective, you're in the wrong religion, but maybe you're going to be saved anyways because God's already decided that you're going to be saved. So that then prevents us from judging others.
So
Jason, I don't think that I've heard that one. It's difficult to argue with a genius, but it's impossible to argue with a madman. I have heard that which would make a madman sane would make a sane man mad. And then the other one I remember was if you try to reason with the insane for too long, something like that. Yeah, I don't remember the whole thing, but yeah, kind of the same premise, right?
You might not have the discernment, but I could discern. For example, let me give you an example. So, if I take a look at Islam, I don't know all the things that are in Islam, but I can say that it's not a truth from God. So the reason is, for example, in Islam, God cannot manifest in the flesh. So that contradicts with the apostles.
But if God has pre-selected a given person that happens to be in the religion of Islam, they'll still
that only contradicts Christianity, though, right? Because Judaism is the same, right? I think.
Go to heaven regardless, right?
No, they won't. They have to believe in Jesus.
Oh, okay. Could they know Jesus by like a different name, or maybe in a different way?
Deanne. Can I call you Deanne?
Yeah, or Dan Green is my fake internet name.
Dan Green.
Whatever you want to call me, it's fine. I've been called worse.
Just don't call me late for dinner.
Okay, so still, what I'm saying is, you can't do nothing for your salvation. Your eternity is predetermined and written
Does this guy sound a lot like Little Buddy?
right.
Like not like his actual voice, but the mode of speech a little bit right there. Did you just catch what he said? But
This is an ego that we have from humanity.
maybe it's
We want
just
to figure out. We want to know what's the truth or not. You know.
Yeah,
Even the Christians are like tempted to think that their faith comes from themselves.
Right.
But like it's not. It's 100% on God.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
The faith, you know, in Jesus Christ.
Right.
It's just like it's like a gift. It's not something that you do. Again, I see you. You're trying to put, you know. I've also seen that when I was when I was talking with Aaron, and that's why he got pissed off in the middle because I keep telling
who
him these things are just from God and they're like free. If I'm trying to figure out what's in the universe, maybe I'll Google it. Maybe I have to read some books. I have to figure out what is the thing because there are natural phenomena. So, but just by my own cognition, I could actually figure out what's there. So that's why we have logic. That's why we have philosophy, science.
Oh.
Right.
All those things work like that. But spiritual is
so block D.
So if I'm trying to figure out what if
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, but see, that's the thing about preaching, right? Because they have to tell you what's wrong with you, and then like, if that doesn't align, if you don't catch that and run with it, and it's like, oh, well, where do we go now? Oh, you must be in denial. You must be in denial if you don't think exactly like I do, right? Like, so yeah, but it's the same fucking argument. Yeah. While it's futile to argue with the insane, it's insane to expect to win. Yeah, you don't get it, and you need the spirit and the emotions to himself. Yes.
is this God real? Is this God not real? Which religion is right? Which denomination is right? Is the Bible?
Lots of hand
I'm
gestures,
gonna lose
like
my mind in the middle. The only thing I'm
those rehearsed hand gestures.
is just like
Public speaker.
Right.
Listen to me.
That's like the easiest.
I'm talking to
That's
you.
why I have to conclude that.
Hey, Skyworks, welcome back.
Destined to believe because it's such an easy thing,
Right.
Just believe.
But I'm just kind of
like,
curious.
What's the matter with that?
Yeah. So somebody that I'm imagining somebody that because there are people in the world that still haven't heard about anything about Christianity, but one of them could hypothetically be predestined to go to heaven. Would they just know the name Jesus in their head somehow, or how would that work, or is that something that's a mystery?
So, again, when I was in Ethiopia, his name is not Jesus, for example.
Right.
His name is Jesus.
Yeah, or Joshua.
Okay, let me show you a sample of. Just like give me a second, and I'll show you a sample of.
Okay.
So this is the Amharic Bible, right? This is the Amharic Bible. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see the letters?
It's very interesting. What language is this? Is that
So
you
this
think?
is a park, right? So his name is not Jesus according to
Uh
this
huh.
Bible, right?
Okay.
The concept is when you go to Joel chapter 2, verse 29 to 30. First, God said, I'll pour out my spirit on all flesh, right?
Uh-huh.
Then it says, you know, the male and female servants uh, are going to prophesy, and the old man shall dream dreams. Then it says that everyone who calls upon the name of the Lord will be saved. So the concept is if you call on God, God is going to save you. It's not like a formula. Is his name is Jesus? Is his because we're talking about people who are in the first century living in Jerusalem, and we know that they never spoke English. So
Right. Right. Right.
so the thing is not about calling him Jesus.
So I have to run down to the car and grab my meds. My ego is so overpowered. The idea of having followers is offensive and belittling. I agree to be egalitarian. Yes. Um, so I'm going to run down to the car real quick. I'm going to leave this thing running. I'll be listening on my phone. My friend Pedro. Okay. And I'll be right
Calling him something else. The concept is, do you
I
believe
see.
that
I
he
see.
died and resurrected? That's the point.
Right. But if you've never heard about that event going on, uh, would you just somehow know about that if you were meant to be saved?
So that's why we have to evangelize and preach the gospel and teach what is right. Because
Right. But let's say there's a there's a tribe that's never nobody's ever going to get to them. They're too deep in the jungle. So that then it must be that that tribe is predestined to go to hell then because nobody can evangelize to them.
uh, you're just like putting out a hypothetical.
Yeah, yeah, I am. I'm saying that these are because I'm trying to understand the mechanics of how all this works. And fair enough, it might be something that because you said that it's spiritual, so maybe there isn't a way that I can understand it in that sense. But I'm attempting to do so despite that. So you know, if a tribe, and I'm sure there are tribes that you just can't get to, uh, either the person would somehow they would just know what to worship correctly, how to whatever it is to get to heaven. Because if God says you're going to heaven, well then they're going to heaven, and whatever they have to believe to get there, that's what they're going to believe because that's what God, He just did that. It's just what happened. Um, and I'm just so I'm trying to ask like, well, is what I'm imagining would happen? Is that right, or am I looking at it wrong? Am I misunderstanding how it would work? Or again, maybe it's too mysterious for me to understand in this way. Whatever you think on that would.
not just to you, it's also mysterious to me because
Okay.
uh,
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't
Yeah.
think God. Oh, okay.
So yeah. No. No. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I don't think God is in favor of what your tribe is. You know,
Right. Right.
because if I say that tribe is
Yeah.
determined to go to hell, I'm gonna say like, oh God, God is
Right.
uh, he cares so much about ethnicity of a certain kind, and God is the one that said there's no Jew or Greek, no bond,
Right.
or no free. I keep quoting this scriptures because I know you have done a lot of videos regarding biblical slavery. I thought you were about to bring that up because this is
I don't think I've done any
one time.
video. Have I? I don't remember. I might have done a video at one point about biblical slavery. I'm not even sure at this
So,
point.
have you ever seen the atheist experience?
Oh yeah, occasionally. I'm not really. I mean, that's not. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes it's not. I think that they're going about what they're doing. I don't necessarily agree with their methodology, but I've seen it. I'm aware of it. But I thought you were saying that I had made videos about that. I was like,
Yeah. I
oh,
mean,
what? I don't think I have.
well, let me just pull up the video.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're referring to.
Yes, that is quite a dilemma. No, I am back. Still gotta go take these monkeys though. So, well, this one. But I'm listening. I'm here. No idea what the hell we're talking about though.
I was. No, I don't know. I might have. I don't know. I have a lot of content.
I started a conversation with yeah. So let me just get back to our point. So you're saying that God is a tribal God.
Well, no. What I was trying to, the tribe. I was just imagining that there's some group of humans that are isolated from the outside world, so they don't know about a God that has died for them, regardless of the names involved. They don't know about that. But I'm imagining if God said, okay, you're going to get saved, that person then would suddenly know the right things to believe. Or it would be that if that person was selected to be saved, that then that tribe would be, some missionary would make their way there to say the stuff that the person then needs to know to be able to be saved. And I'm just trying to wonder, again, and it might be something that is impossible to know, but how is this person gonna get that information? Is it gonna get there spiritually, or is it gonna get there by a person, or who knows? Who cares? Because it's just hypothetical. Anyways, God will figure it out, and don't worry too much about it. You pesky skeptic. I should just go, whatever. If God wants to save them, they'll figure it out.
Yeah. So I don't think the way of salvation.
I'm muted again.
The only way to the Father is Jesus, but I don't believe evangelism is the only way that.
Scramble. Shall we take a musical detour? Is that thing still going? Is my shit just frozen? Swear to God, man, I swear to God. Fucking with my mind. People be fucking with me, man. I fucks with you. Too depressing. Oh yeah, I was gonna listen to this one earlier. Let's put it on. Not this, it's now. Ads. It's the Replacements. Bud. This one's just about have it. Comments. In the comments. Oh, shit. Spot the difference? No, what? Is there one? It's really exactly what the fuck. Damn. I'm pretty sure they're exactly the fucking same. Yeah.
Stop! Right there!
So, I don't know. You can test my eyesight, but. Okay. It's the boat, the bridge, yeah, and 100 Mile High. Same boat, same bridge, same tree. It's exactly the same. Well, what are you gonna do? The beds don't vibrate either. Waldo? Where's Waldo? I haven't seen that in a while. Do you remember they had a cartoon series for a while, The Where's Waldo? Wonder if they have that on Tubi. I know they have Gumby, the old Gumby. A little bit more out of there. Smooth sounds of NBC News Now. No, I think they are identical copies of exactly the same painting.
And we are back now with
I wasn't
chilling
even really
surveillance
focused.
video
I was
showing
just
the
like,
moment a monster EF4 tornado ripped through a high school here in central
Yeah.
Mississippi on Friday night. You can see the power of that storm causing the roof to partially collapse. Luckily, no one was inside at the time. And we'll speak to a man who survived that deadly storm in just a moment. But we want to get to top stories news feed right now and the possible indictment of former President Trump. NBC News confirming former National Enquirer publisher
Yeah,
David
just turn one around. Just the
testified
back
today
of the painting.
before the Manhattan grand jury investigating alleged hush money payments made by the former president. Federal prosecutors have previously said Pecker was a key player in payments made to women who claimed they had affairs with Trump
name is
before the
Pecker.
2016 election. Over the weekend, the former president had this to say.
His name is Pecker.
It's a fake investigation. We did nothing wrong. I think they've already dropped the case, from what I understand. I think it's been dropped.
That, of course, the former president's take on everything that is happening with the grand jury, which, of course, operates in secrecy. The grand jury is done for the night. No word on when they will reconvene next. Two horrific discoveries made on trains in Texas near the U.S. border with Mexico. More than 17 migrants found suffocating on a freight train outside of Uvalde. At least 2 dead and the rest were hospitalized. Union Pacific confirming a dozen migrants were then found the next day inside of a train car near Eagle Pass. At least one person died in that case. Homeland Security is now investigating. Now to the shocking car crash on a California highway. This video is incredible. It was all captured on dash cam. The video shows two cars going down a freeway in Los Angeles when that white pickup truck you see there loses a front tire, the road wheel slipping under a nearby Kia, sending that car flying into the air and flipping over before coming to a stop. Miraculously, that Kia driver managing to walk away with just minor injuries. That is a miracle. We want to return to our continuing coverage of the deadly tornadoes here in Mississippi. And tonight we are joined by Andre Williams, who survived the terrifying twister here in Rolling Fork, where he's a city alderman and a former police chief. Andre, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know it's been a very tough 48 hours for you and your family. Can you take us back to Friday night and walk us through what you remember?
Friday night, I was sitting in my bedroom and, just looking out the window, and I saw it was blue lightning. It was blue. I didn't hear much. And the alert came on the phone and say, move fast. And by the time I could get up and get out the room, I was low. That train that they often talked about.
The sound of a rushing train.
Yes, it was like behind me. And at that moment, it lifted me. From the time I walked out my room, it lifted me and took me straight into the tub, straight into the bathroom, into the tub.
The force of that tornado pushed you through a room.
Pushed me, I exited the room, and before I turned to the bedroom, it was over with. It took me, and all I heard was the train, and it pushed me. It lifted me up. I'm a big man. It lifted me up and put me over in the tub. I knew it wasn't. I knew it was angels. I knew it was God, because I don't remember. Only thing I remember is being lifted, and it just like it was a rush. And so,
what's the next thing you remember?
The next thing I remember, I was in a fetal position. I was laying there, and I was praying, and all of a sudden, it went away. And so, what got me was I felt something behind my back. I felt something behind my back. I said, what is this? And when I finally was able to pull it, it was the pillow off the living room couch from the front of the house. I have some back issues. God, it wasn't nobody but God, had set that pillow in the tub. So when I entered the tub, the pillow was there to brace my back. And I couldn't believe it.
We have the pillow here. We're not talking about a small pillow either.
This pillow,
Andre, you're telling me that you were lifted. That pillow was lifted, and you both ended up in the bathtub.
I don't know when it made it there. It was there when I landed in the tub. I don't even remember really landing in the tub. All I remember is being on my side and feel something bracing my back. And of course, it happened, and I was just praying, and I was calm, but I felt something on my back, and I said, "What is this?" And then when I got it, and I just couldn't believe it.
Were you laying on the pillow at the time, like it lifted you and the whole couch, but like the couch went this way and you and the pillow went that way?
It was devastating. It was devastating because I've been here since I was 5 years old. And I went to high school here. I played ball here. I coached Little League here for the last 20 years. And it was devastating to see the devastation. And I was sitting and started hearing about the death. But I tell you, one thing that got me out, because I'm so into our kids. And I thought about my kids, my 16 kids that I coached.
Oh, shit. I was going to be like, this guy has 16 kids, but he's like, okay.
I was wondering what they hurt. And I'll tell you, that night, I'm going to take you back when the tornado and it just rained and it was lightning. And when it stopped, it was quiet and it was dark. And to hear people screaming, help, help, help. That's all you could hear. Help. And that was devastating.
And you couldn't see anything, right?
I couldn't see anything.
You're a former police chief. I mean,
Yes.
did you try to jump into action, or was it too hard?
I couldn't do anything. I was down in the tub and I couldn't get up. I couldn't. I could only just kind of raise up a little. I had to be helped out by the rescuers.
Well, what do you make of this? Like you said, you've been here since you were 5. You obviously help out a lot in the community. Yes. And then you look behind you, and I look out, and we had a report earlier. A lot of people here are not insured, you know? And this is a small town, and we're going to make sure that people don't forget Rolling Fork.
Right.
But you know they might.
No. What I see as a town, they're going to come together. So far, we have a lot of help. Everybody's
so terrible.
Very supportive.
Oh, my
We're
goodness.
appreciative of that. And, you know, sometimes things happen for a reason. In God's way. It's not our way.
Oh.
We can't get understanding out of something that's happened. But God has his own reason for things happening. And I think what's going to happen out of this is going to bring our community together. Finally going to bring us together.
If you can ask anything of all the viewers that are watching this across the country, what would you ask for? What does the community need most?
Togetherness. If you're in your community, work together. Council, city council, board of supervisors, school board, work together.
But most of all, we need a new name for this town. Who the fuck names their town Rolling Fork? What were they thinking? Have you no class, man? Might stay on for overtime, since we're all here anyway. Wonder if we get a copyright strike for this one. Ooh, the year I was born, 1988.
There's the river, Pookie. We must be close now, Gumby. Did you remember the treasure map? Yep, got it right here, Pookie. Coming from the Glen, turn left at the river, and the treasure is buried under the third tree. There it is.
Sounds legit.
Let's start digging then, Pokey. That's the spot, Gumby.
This is groundbreaking animation at the time. Claymation or whatever.
Help! Stop it. Hey, you down there. Stop it, I say. Put down my tree this instant.
Nice.
Oh, my word. Who ever gave you permission to tear up my tree like that?
Nobody, sir. Mr. Owl. We were just looking for buried treasure.
Oh, my. What is this forest coming to? Buried treasure, indeed. Young man, what you need is a good fable.
Yes, sir. Hey, Gumby, what's a fable?
Why, I'm surprised at you, horse. A fable is a story with a lesson. Now, let's see. I think the fable about the beavers would do well in this case. Once upon a time, there were 3 young beavers who decided to build a dam on the river. It was Ben Beaver's plan, so he was head engineer. But his cousins, Flory and Zeb, were just as responsible. Now, if I asked Ben once, I asked him 100 times, did your father and the other animals downstream give you permission? For after all, many animals depend on the river, you know.
Well, don't be a fuss, Gubby. I'm a beaver, and I know how to do this sort of thing. All right, then. Get that log in place. Make sure it's tight. Good, good.
Things didn't turn out as the beavers expected. The dam broke and caused a terrible flood in the forest.
Wow!
Many other animals suffered because of it. But Ben didn't realize this and went ahead and built another dam. Then, just as he finished it...
Are you an enthusiast? I did not know. So wait, I know Wallace and Gromit was the big one, right? I remember them. Is that Rankin Bass? Let's look it up. And then who was the other one? They were like... Huh. Oh, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and shit. Okay. Who's the other one you mentioned here? Will Vinton? Oh, the California Raisins. Okay. And then, so who did Wallace and Gromit? Nick Park, Aardman Animations. I thought they were pretty funny as a kid. They had a film once. I remember going to see that in theaters. Yeah. Nice. It is fascinating. See the way they come up with these things.
Benjamin Beaver.
All right. Yes, Pop.
Goodness, I've been looking all over for you. And what's that down there in the river?
It's a dam, Father. Flory and Zeb and I built it.
You have no right putting up a dam here. What about the other animals? Now tear it down and clean up the mess. And get home by supper time, or there'll be a spanking for all three of you.
Oh, he threatened them with violence. Oh no.
Yes, sir. Those young beavers had quite a bit to learn about first asking other people's permission. They were just a little eager, I guess. Eager. Eager beavers, you might say.
Gosh, Mr. Owl, that was a good story. We're sure sorry we were such eager beavers, Mr. Owl.
But what's this about buried treasure being under my tree?
Davy and Goliath?
We found the map that says so.
Well, what is it, horse?
I don't remember that one.
Nuts.
What?
It's just a lot of walnuts, Gumby. Some treasure.
Well, it may be just nuts to you, but it's my treasure. Now go away.
Nuttier than a squirrel turd. And as we go into overtime, we'll take our own commercial break.
Lockdown Records presents a Hip Hop Christmas. You'll get such classics as These Nuts Roasted on an Open Fire, A Sleigh Ride in My 64, Annie Up Bitch, It's Christmas, and many more.
buy that
I can't
shit,
get this
son.
2 CD set.
It's weird because you can still see the sides of my screen when I use that one. Doesn't give the full screen coverage. Okay. Where is it? I'll ask these dark beers, and then I'll go to business and do dinner. Yeah, the Trader Jose is agreeable. It was pretty mellow. 5.3 alcohol. I like it.
Keep it real, homies.
Do the dailies. Okay. Up against it, we sit backed off. Let me check. That's a check. No. Yeah, here we go. Checkmate right there. want this one. No. I won't see Queen.
There's a lot of excitement about travel right now, but also a lot of questions. And I've got the answer to one of the most important.
I did that. Okay, so discovery.
Sitting on top of a mountain.
Okay.
She's looking that valley.
Oh, I see.
Swing back to the peak
I was thinking I had to do one of it.
down at the top of my low, screaming, oh, straight out on a head wall. Turned into a free fall. Some sunshine.
Next one up.
In the afterlife, and she's drunk by the daytime. I bet she feels it just the same in the evening. I'm sipping on some sunshine. I'm gonna leave it for a moment in the afterlife, and she's drunk by the daytime. I bet she feels it just the same, not anymore.
I haven't done our daily puzzle yet.
I'm sitting on top of the hillside. There's a one-way path that's taking me home. Climbing up to the peak with the blindfold. Bombing down at the top of my lungs, screaming, oh, straight out on a head wall.
They have chess streamers on chess.com. Interesting.
Turned into a free fall. I'm sipping on some sunshine.
Good to know.
In the afterlife, and she's drunk by the daytime. I bet you feels it just
Window
the
of
same
opportunity.
in the evening. I'm sipping on some sunshine. I'm gonna leave it for a moment in the afterlife.
Good.
She's drunk by the daytime.
Good.
I bet you feels it just the same, not anymore.
So these ones aren't always about okay. Some of them are a little bit longer. Like that really. You gotta be going. You gotta look for what you're trying to take. You might be going for the queen and the slave thing or something.
Sunshine, I'm gonna leave it for the moment in the afterlife. And they're drunk by the daytime. I bet they feel it just the same. I bet they feel it just the same. I'm sitting on some sunshine. I'm gonna leave it for the moment in the afterlife. It's just so by the daytime. I bet you feel it just the same. I bet you feel it just the same.
Germania made their move.
Refreshing hydration with a boost of energy to fuel what's next. Rockstar recovery.
Is it not that way?
Your wind in this way.
Oh, so I have to wait until.
Checking.
Or no, I haven't made any yet. That's weird.
Or anniversaries need.
Just sit here and comment board.
No matter who you are, where
Contemplate
you're
the
going,
board.
or why.
Okay. Damn it.
I can't get these memories out of my mind. And some kind of madness it started to evolve. I tried so hard to
Okay, searching. Work this time?
but some kind of madness is swallowed
I just don't have the patience right now. I like that song, but for some reason it's like. Okay, I see how it's gonna be. Fucking with me. Fucking with me. They're all gonna laugh at you. Alright, let me do it.
Here's my confession. You learned your lesson. Stop me before I do it again.
Well, that was quite unfortunate. Yes, chess swallowed me whole. I didn't even see a game spring up. I think it's chess.com just kicked me off their platform or something. Fuck off with your StreamYard stream. Oh, hold on, let me take this.
Tragically, 1 out of 8 women will get breast cancer. And every day, women die because their cancer is not caught in time. Now, our hope is for fast track approval of life-saving tests and treatments for women with cancer. We cannot afford that. So we need to elect lawmakers with that goal in mind. Now, when you receive your donation return envelope, can we count on you to return a small donation for the drive?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the funds to donate this time, but I wish you luck. And that's that. Okay. So I didn't know if it was somebody else I needed to talk to, but no, they're trying to get money for, I don't know, people. People need money. I need money. Give me money. Send me your money. Jeebus, I don't know where to go from there. What do we do now? Where do we go from here? Yeah, no, I might just fall off the face of the internet one day. Be as if you'd never known me. No, I don't. Don't be dramatic. It's going to be okay. It's going to be just fine. This thing. I know what to do with it. Needs a trim, I know that much. Then say I'm getting my ears lowered for like the past 6 weeks. Oh yeah, so my therapy session got bumped to Wednesday. I was talking about that earlier. We got sidetracked. I wait like an additional 2 fucking days for therapy. And then I got all this shit this morning. But I felt pretty good about it. I felt like I did really fucking good, like, yeah, I was kind of like a little fucking edgy, but then I was like, I fucking dialed it back. I was able to get my side out, The judge was like, no, we're not like fucking, out to fucking take your rights away, fucking blah, 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 jump through the hoops. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm jumping through the fucking hoops like a good little monkey. And with that said, I guess it's time for the wrap up. So, as I always say, be kind, be well, stay trusty, do good shit, and try not to fight with people on the internet because it's not going to help you. But if you have fun doing it, then I guess who am I to judge?
But look, we're dealing with a lot of weird people on the internet here.
Philosophy for the rest of the week. So, yep, we'll see you there.